Where does self-confidence come from? And this is the best advice I can give you on that. Not neglecting, first of all, the small daily disciplines. Self-confidence really comes from feeling good about yourself. And one of the best ways to feel good about yourself is at the end of the day to know that you poured it on. You did your best. If you conducted a meeting, you did the best you could. If you made a phone call, it was the best phone call you could possibly make. If you wrote a letter, it wasn't a casual letter, it was your best letter. At the end of those kind of days, when you feel good about yourself, self-confidence starts to rise. You know that if you can have this kind of a good day, you can have another one the next day, and those days become the weeks become the months, and the month becomes a powerful year. Self-confidence comes from the lack of neglect. If you will not neglect to do the small daily disciplines, that's where self-confidence comes from. Part of good health is self-confidence. I know I'm going to be healthy. I take the Herbalife products. I eat the apple a day. I walk around the block. I do the jogging on the beach. At the end of the day, when you've really poured it on and you've done all the stuff, self-confidence grows. That self-confidence affects your health. It affects your future. It affects your psyche. So this is true. One of the great powers is self-confidence. Self-confidence means willingness to do whatever it takes to achieve. Some people say, well, I'll do it for a little while and see what happens. You know, I'll try a couple of things. If that doesn't work, I'm out of here. And all of us know that that kind of person doesn't have much of a future. But if you're willing to do whatever it takes, if I have to learn a couple of things, I will learn those things. If I got to learn 5 or 6 things, I'll learn all 6. If I have to take an extra class, I'll take an extra class. If I've got to read the books, I'll read the books. If I have to consult with people who know more than I know, I will do the necessary consulting. Whatever it takes, I will do. That starts to develop unbelievable self-confidence. Self-confidence also comes from the ability to rise above your circumstances. To rise above what happens, the petty little things, the discouraging things that would sink everyone else's ship except yours, that would cause someone else to quit early in the day, but you keep going. That kind of willingness to overcome all circumstances, whether it's the little challenges or the big challenges. If you're willing to do that, I promise you, this kind of power will work for you, and in you, the variable, it'll make a difference.
Every time we choose to do less than we possibly can, it affects our self-confidence, our self-worth. If we keep doing a little less every day, a little less, every day that we keep doing a little less, we are also being a little less. Can you imagine what you'd end up being after 10 years of doing a little less every day? It's devastating. Think about it. Doing less could ruin your life. What could you do if you had all the skills, took the classes, read the books, burned the midnight oil? What could you do? What true value could you develop? This is one of the better exercises. What could I become? What could I really do in the marketplace? In enterprise, home, family, experience, love, friendship, marriage. How valuable could I become? Am I valuable enough to work on what's not working so I can reach my full capacity? If I'm operating at 20%, what could I possibly do with the other 80%? Once you start understanding how valuable you are, it's a whole new experience. Understanding self-worth. It plays a major role in our ability to be self-enterprising. Our self-worth makes the difference between being lazy and being active. Being self-enterprising. If we don't feel good about ourselves, we won't feel good about our lives. And if we don't feel good about our lives, we won't be very interested in looking for opportunities. Enterprise is always better than ease. Now, you can reverse the process of doing a little less, You can reverse this process by using your self-direction, your self-reliance, your self-discipline. You alter the course by doing a little more each day. A little more, a little more, a little more. And pretty soon you'll develop a new habit of doing rather than neglecting. And days and weeks and months of doing a little more will ultimately do what? It'll increase your confidence and your courage and your creativity and your self-worth. In the end, it's how we feel about ourselves that provides the greatest reward from activity and enterprise. It's not what we get or what we accumulate that makes us valuable. It's what we become that makes us valuable. Success isn't in the having. Success is in the doing. It's the process of doing that brings value. It's the activity that transforms our dreams into reality, that converts ideas into actuality. Let me tell you what I think most messes with the mind. I think that simply doing less than you can messes with the mind. It causes all kinds of psychic damage. I think being less than you can be, trying less than you could try, doing it with less enthusiasm than you could do it, messes with the mind. It somehow damages the mind. It damages our self-image. Because here's what I've discovered happens. The minute you turn this around and start extending yourself, you'll see immediate rewards. Maybe not monetary ones, not yet, but it's how you feel about yourself that's the greatest value. You see, it's not what we get that makes us valuable, it's what we become. Discover all you can do. See how much you can earn, how much you can share, how much you can start, how much you can finish, how far you can reach, how far you can extend your influence. Some people out there would have us believe that positive affirmation is more important than activity. Instead of doing something constructive to change our lives, they would have us repeating slogans and canned affirmations like every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better. Well, getting better and better doesn't just happen from wishful thinking. Getting better and better only happens with the discipline of doing better and better. Discipline is the requirement for progress, and affirmations without discipline are in reality delusions. Now, don't get me wrong here. There's nothing wrong with affirming the good life as long as we are disciplined enough to take action. Affirmations can be effective as long as we remember two very important rules. Number one, we should never allow affirmation to replace action, activity, enterprise. Feeling better is no substitute for doing better. And number two, whatever we choose to affirm must be the truth. If the truth happens to be that we're broke, the best affirmation would be to simply say, I'm broke. Wow, face it, accept it, be responsible for it, and change it. By admitting that you're broke, by saying it out loud, you'll probably be disgusted enough to start the thinking process on how to change it. Anyone saying I'm broke with conviction will most likely be driven from ease into action. Confronting harsh realities has an incredible effect. Confronting the truth and then applying the discipline to express the truth instead of disguising it inevitably leads to positive change. And reality is always the best beginning. You see, within reality lies the possibility to create our own personal miracle. Our own personal miracle, and the power of faith starts with reality. If we can bring ourselves to state the truth about a situation, then, as the saying goes, the truth will set us free. Here's another old saying, faith isn't faith unless it's all you're holding on to. If your life and circumstances have resulted in a situation that is ugly, call it ugly. If you've lost it all, admit that you've lost it all. Be responsible to it. And if faith is all you've got left, use it. Create your own personal miracle. Once we understand and accept the truth, the promise of the future is freed from the shackles of deception. Once we accept the truth, the promise of the future will pull us.
Also, one more thought on discipline. Here's the greatest value of discipline: self-worth, self-esteem. People are teaching self-esteem these days, but they don't connect it to disciplines. The least lack of discipline, and it starts to erode our psyche. One of the greatest temptations is to just ease up a little bit, right? The slightest lack of doing your best starts to erode the psyche. Instead of doing your best, doing just a little less than your best. Sure enough, you say, well, it's just going to affect my sales. No, it's going to affect your consciousness. It's going to affect your philosophy. Now you've begun in the slightest way to affect your own philosophy. Here's the problem with the least neglect. Neglect starts as an infection. And if you don't take care of it, it becomes a disease. And one neglect leads to another. And the worst of all, when neglect starts, it diminishes our self-worth, our self-confidence, our self-value. You say, well, how can I get back my self-respect? I'm telling you, you don't have to go to 29 classes. All you have to do is start the smallest discipline that now corresponds to your own philosophy, like I should, and I could, and I will. No longer will I let neglect stack up on me so that I will have the sorry scenario 6 years from now, giving some excuse instead of celebrating my progress. That's the key to discipline. Okay? Let's get kids involved in the least of disciplines. One more, and then one more, and then another one, and then another one, and then some more. And the first thing you know, you're starting to weave the tapestry of a disciplined life into which you can pour more wisdom and more attitude and more strong feeling, more faith and more courage. Now you've got something, a vessel in which to put it. And now the equities start to flow. And the early return, I'm telling you, if you'll start this process, the early return will have you so excited. You'll commit yourself to this strategy for the rest of your life. You'll never go back to the old ways. Join a new crowd. Join a new group. The disciplines to do it. Take action.
Whatever you do, don't become a victim of yourself. As you engage in this debate, what to eat, what not to eat, where to go, where not to go, what to say, what not to say, what to do, what not to do, make sure that you strengthen the positive side of this argument with yourself, so that day by day you become healthier, day by day you become stronger, day by day you become wiser. Day by day you build a better shield and immunity. An inside immunity to ward off disease, but an outside immunity to ward off all the negative and all the trash and all the stuff that would not enhance your personal development nor your promise for the future.
What I'm saying here is be your own person. You don't have to be a model of someone else. You don't have to do it like anybody else, right? Do it like yourself. Buy what you want to buy, listen to what you want to listen to, make changes if you want to make changes, and don't make changes, right? It's your life, I'm telling you, and don't let anybody persuade you any different. Success is not a stereotype. Success is not a Ferrari. Success is not an automobile. It's not a house. It's not a place. It's not money in the bank. It's not $1 million. That's not success. Success is the continual unfolding of the design of your own life and pulling it off. That's what success is. The continual unfolding of the design of your own personal life and pulling it off in whatever degree you wish. That is success. Successful in doing whatever you want to do that makes sense to you, for you, your family, your responsibilities. Or take on responsibilities or refuse responsibilities. That's strictly all up to you. We've been given the power of choice. Every life form except human beings operates by instinct in the genetic code. Now, why not human beings? Because here it is. We've been given the dignity of choice. We're not like a robot. We're not stuck like a tree, using up all the nourishment, nothing left, now you die because you can't change location. Not true. Humans can go north, south, east, west. Humans can change, do anything they want to do. We've been given the dignity. But here's what's interesting about all life form except humans. Every life form except humans strives to the max of its potential. How tall will a tree grow? As tall as it possibly can. You never heard of a tree growing half as high as it could. No, that is impossible. A tree grows as high as it can, drives down every root it can, produces every leaf it can, extends itself as far as it possibly can. Every life form extends to the max, except human beings. Now, why not human beings? Because we're not robots. We've been given the dignity of choice. And here's a couple of alternatives on the dignity of choice. To be part of or all of. You have the potential to be. And you got the choice. Do a little to make yourself comfortable and forget the rest, or do it all. And there's nobody here to dictate you got to do it all. That's nonsense. You got to be rich because we live in a rich country. That's nonsense. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to do it all. You can do a little, do some more. Take advice, but don't take orders. Take information, take training, take teaching, but don't take orders from no one that tells you how you need to live and what you need to own and what you need to do. Somebody says, well, you need to be successful. That's a personal choice, being successful. What we teach is the possibilities, and everybody chooses. Take a little, take a lot, do some, do nothing. Abraham Lincoln said, since I would be no one's slave, I will be no one's master. Excellent philosophy. If a guy says, hey, I'm soon cashing it in, I'm heading for the mountains. I'm going to live in a little cabin, live off the land, and feed the squirrels. If he goes and does that, guess what? He's a smashing success. Why? He's doing what he designed to do and went and did it and pulled it off. You can't say, no, that's not successful. That is the epitome of success, is giving a design to your life and go pull it off, making progress in that direction that satisfies you. If it doesn't satisfy you, make alternatives and you change. And if you get some better ideas, sure, you may follow someone's suggestion and ideas, but not orders.
Well. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Unmute yourself if you want to. Good morning. Hopefully,
Good morning,
hopefully
Jim.
you got your coffee.
Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. Morning, Todd Owen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You, Jim.
Good morning. Good morning, Louie. Good morning, Kathy, Dorothy, Greg,
Good morning.
Kim Schwartz. Good to see you, girl. Love the glasses. Good morning. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Lois. Good morning. Ruth, Christina, good morning. Jeffrey Feldhusen, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. He got up 5 minutes ago.
Nope.
Good morning, Terry Ann. Good morning. Nikki, good morning. Melissa.
Good morning.
Good morning. Jennifer, good morning. Somebody better sign her. Good morning. Debbie, good morning. Kajua, good morning, girl. I haven't seen you for a little while. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Kushabuski. Good morning. Good morning, Anna.
Morning.
Good morning, Catalina. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mackenzie. Good morning. Good morning. Brent Linky, good morning. It's good to see your face.
Good morning.
Chia, good morning. Ashley, good morning. Jacob, good morning. Is Jacob with you, Ashley? Okay. Morgan, good morning. Congratulations on a Disney World employee. Epcot, that's awesome. Good morning. Mark Gum, good morning. Marvin Lee, good to see you. Man, you guys, I'm so excited about today. We're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about stuff that's going to build confidence. And we're going to give you the ability, literally,
Go lay down, buddy.
leave today with the ability and the tools and the resources to actually take action today, like that fast. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. It is going to be awesome. First thing you probably noticed is that we established a new Telegram page, not on your PowerPoint slide here yet, but just for today, and it will only be temporary for a few days, a Life Licensed Summit Telegram. So if you didn't see it, make sure you see it, because it's going to be an important resource as soon as this meeting gets done, okay? We're going to communicate some things to you, especially to this group after today. So again, good morning. I want to start out by telling you we have a playbook called the Team Tenacious Playbook to Freedom. It's 100 Days to Freedom. Today, we're going to highlight those 3 that you see there. And I want to make sure that you have accessed those 3 channels. They're specific to your career, but also they're in order that you need to learn. So when you see, in order to be here today, you already did step 0, pre-licensing, okay? You already did that. You're licensed. And you'll see on there 7 days into your career under our path, you're already presenting. You're already building an agency. 2, and by the way, all the resources are in that channel. Go study it, click on the link, but please work alongside your trainers. Step 2, life licensed. We expect people from this point forward, for sure, to be licensed in 21 days. Anything longer, you're hurting your career in a lot of ways. 1, promotions. 2, cash. How many people think it's pretty important to make money?
Everybody.
I do. That's why we all came here. We came here to get paid. Okay. And then 3, independent. I don't want to have to be linked to your side forever. Some of you have lingered around already, and I'm going to take the blame, okay, for all of us. After today, you're going to have every single tool. I've just explained it step by step. Don't go to 2 until you've mastered 1, but it shouldn't take very long. You can see that our expectation on this page is 7 days from the day you started, you're already presenting. Okay? So I'm not going to, go into that any deeper than that. So just check right now, make sure that you're active on those 3 channels. If you are not, and you're not knowing how to find them, number 1, reach out to your trainer. Number 2, reach out to Julie or I. Okay? So just make sure that you're active with those. This will not be a Q&A session today. We've got too much to cover. All right? A reminder, I asked you to specifically do some homework and make a commitment to that before today. I'm going to trust that you did it. If you didn't, you will fall behind. Excuse me. So, number 1, I expect all of us, including me, to be present with our camera on for this full event today. Why? You're never going to get our entire process as clear, concise, and direct as you're going to get it today. So no multitasking, right? No distractions. I know that's hard for a lot of us, okay? But I'm asking for that. Number 2, I need to make sure that you completed as shown with the big red circle. You go to Life Products on Primerica Online, POL for short, by clicking the link, which by the way is in Telegram, right? And completed that hub. And 3, access to our link to the all client experience, okay? Now listen, in that link, there's an enormous amount of resources. They're there for you to really study and really dig in even deeper after today. All right. But they're all there. They're all accessible from those 3 Telegram channels. If you just follow them step by step, you'll be fine. Don't be an A like my wife and go, oh, I'll just skip 2 or I'll just skip 1. Don't do it. Because they're designed in a way to really help you through the process. And guys, if you dig in, I'll never ask you to invest more than what we asked you up front, 10 hours a week. But I'm going to tell you this, I do expect that if you want the end result, give me the 10 hours. Fair? Some of you can do better than that. Some of you can give better than 10 hours a week. So one of the strong suggestions that's, in fact, requirements really with starting with us, you got to be able to give us 10 hours a week. This will not work if you don't. And that's got to be consistent. One of the things we found out is that starting and stopping does not work. Has anyone ever figured that out with anything in life? Right before you're ready to ride a bike, you go, oh, it's winter. I can't ride the bike no more. Now you wait 2 or 3 months, and what happens? You hop back on the bike, and you kind of got to relearn. Some of it's familiar, but you kind of got to relearn what you did. And so we ask you to just follow this step by step. What are you going to learn today? Mindset and building, confidence. This is huge, confidence, having confidence. I'm not going to go over anything that's complicated, okay? I want to bring clarity to your life so that you have confidence. We're going to go through our presentation and closing, Facebook and prospecting, our competitors' products, our product, the Team Tenacious client experience, how all that works. It's going to lead to breakthroughs in your income today. I mean it. And by the way, if you don't work with urgency right after today, you know what's going to happen? You're going to lose it. I know 1 week from now, if you haven't touched this material and haven't dug in, you're really, I'm just telling you, you're setting yourself up for failure. Life does get in the way. I get it. But you must carve out the time and be consistent about it. All right. No starting and stopping. It doesn't work. You're going to learn efficiency, time management, and productivity through the process that we're going to teach today. All right. So listen, I want you to know I believe in you. Julie believes in you, and that you're here for a reason. You are. Don't ever forget that. We pray for you every day. We think about you every day, and we love you. We really do. So today might be the most serendipitous moment you've ever had happen in your life. And I think this is an interesting word, serendipitous. I think some of us have probably heard it before. You probably think of a love-struck movie when you hear the word serendipitous, called serendipity, right? But in the Bible, serendipity is often referred to as a concept of seemingly coincidental positive events that are actually orchestrated by God, signifying his providence and working in people's lives in unexpected and beneficial ways. Essentially meaning that good things happen by chance because God is guiding those events behind the scenes. Have you ever had stuff happen and you had been thinking about it and praying for it, and all of a sudden it shows up? You ever had that happen? I have, a lot. See, God works for the good of those who love him, according to Romans 8:28. Well, here's a serendipitous moment. One of the things we're going to do is be able to reduce your costs by providing access to some things you didn't have access to before. So on November 6th, all of our agents that are securities licensed will be able to move their Zoom accounts and get full access to the company's Zoom Enterprise on November 6th. Please watch your POL email because you should have already started getting communications from our home office about this if you are securities licensed. Now, let me explain how it's going to work. This is going to be for both securities licensed and for unlicensed and life licensed folks. And it's going to cover several different things. It's going to not only have an enterprise Zoom, which does way more than just the regular Zoom does. And by the way, if you're already subscribed to Zoom and your securities license on November 6th, they're going to move you over and then they're going to refund you what you've already paid for your Zoom account. Is that pretty incredible? Is that pretty incredible? And by the way, once they move over to the second part, which will happen very quickly, the same will happen. You just don't have access to as many tools as a securities rep does. So Team Tenacious has been chosen for November 6th rollout. And you should have, again, already started getting your emails on Primerica Online, okay? So make sure you know that. All right, what is Zoom and why is it so important? I'm going to tell you, back in the day, we used to have to hire people within an hour radius of our office. We used to have people travel all over Timbuktu in order to participate in our training. Here you are today, all over the country you're logged in from Florida to North and South Carolina to California to New Jersey to Wisconsin, all over, okay? And that's just so important for you to understand because geographic flexibility is important. Why? Well, if I could only hire within a 30-mile, 40, 50-mile, 1-hour radius of my office, but now I can hire people in all 50 states or do business with people in all 50 states. Got a question. Does the market go from about this big to this big? Yeah. And now the company's going to provide you this tool with all the expanded resources for free. Guys, Zoom Enterprise includes a chat channel, excuse me, a calendar program, just like Calendly, all for free. It's going to be part of your $25 monthly software charge, okay, to be able to operate. How incredible is this? Guys, this resource alone would be hundreds of dollars a month if you had to try to get it on your own. So I'm just so excited about it. So why this summit? Why now? What's going on? We want to max out your confidence. It's that simple right now. I want to just play this real quick.
Here's a rule that'll make you more confident by the end of this video. Philosopher Alan Watts calls this the backwards law. The more you try, the further away you are. Example, the more you try to float, the more you sink. In dating, the more you chase after someone, the more it repels them away because they sense the neediness. In money, the more you stress and think about not having money, the more it puts you in that poverty mindset of scarcity. Do you know what the real root word of confidence is? It means intense trust. Intense trust in yourself, your abilities. You're a badass. You can do it. And when you're really confident, you start letting go of the need to control things. So the secret to more confidence, stop trying, start trusting. Trust yourself and watch the confidence start to flood in.
Yeah, right? So you got to change your mindset. Look at our mindsets, okay? Just follow this little graph on the left. If you have the same habits, you're going to get the same results because you have the same mindset. And it's just a circle. If your life hasn't changed for 10 years and you're not happier, you're not more fulfilled, you don't have more money, it's because of the circle on the left. You see, a new mindset creates new habits with new results, and that's our intention today. So listen to this. There are 3 things that you must have if you want to succeed, because most people have something called learned helplessness.
There's 3 P's that you got to annihilate, crush, or destroy if they're getting in the way of your progress in a relationship or your career or your happiness or your health. These are the 3 P's that make learned helplessness. Number 1, you think the problem is permanent. Once you've had enough disappointment, sometimes your brain doesn't want to get disappointed, so it's a permanent problem. Please write down, no problem is permanent. Only your soul is permanent. Nothing's forever. Everything changes. Everything eventually ends and something new begins. That's part of life. Those are the seasons of life. The second P that keeps people in learned helplessness so they don't change, this belief's got to be annihilated, broken through, and that it's pervasive. That means that because my relationship's not great, my whole life is horrible. And you're forgetting you do have health, or you do have friends, or you do have a job, or you do have whatever. I can breathe. And the third one is we think the problem is personal. There's something wrong with me. And if you start believing that, it becomes self-fulfilling. You give up. See, I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not smart enough. I always screw it up. So those 3 P's got to be destroyed.
So we're going to introduce you to the automation of winning through creating a proper, or by the automation of winning, you're going to create a proper mindset. Here's what I mean. Okay. Inputs create outcome. Write that down. Put it in the chat right now. Incomes create outcome. Now, let me get into a little science here. I know we have a science teacher on here, so you might have even heard of this formula, and you might want to pay attention to this. This is might be one of the breakthroughs you can all have today, Gus, right? Potassium, and I'm going to butcher this word, permanganate plus glycerin plus water. Those are the inputs. Those 3 ingredients, those 3 inputs equal fire. Fire is the byproduct of those inputs. The input creates the byproduct. Okay? Take something out of the prior equation and you don't get fire, ever. You get something completely different and a lot less spectacular. And that's the kind of how life works. We can get almost all the ingredients. Almost. We can be 90% of the way, but no fire. We want the flame, but what should we see instead of that? The inputs that create the fire. You need to see that. So what's that look like? Let's say you're here and you're trying to make a transition of full-time, which I believe always starts with $2,000 a month. Let me ask you all a question. Seriously. If you could start making this, starting today, $2,000 extra dollars a month, your life license, $2,000 extra dollars a month for 10 hours a week. Would you do it? Would you want to learn it? Now, here's the good news, by the way. If you can learn how to do that, you can learn how to make $100,000 here, no problem. The challenge is you need to know the inputs. You don't focus on the outcome, just like I just showed you. You focus on the inputs. What's that look like? Let me break down the goal quick, okay? I'll give you an example. If you're a district leader here, you're on a 50% contract. I'm not going to reteach you about comp. If you need to understand compensation, go to your trainer, okay? But look, you need $2,000 of income in 4 weeks or 1 month. I just said you can do that on 10 hours. The challenge is, what are you doing with those 10 hours and when are you doing it? Fair? If a job says, I got to show up at a certain time, what do you got to do? What do you got to do? Show up. But you got to know what your job is. Yes? You got to be clear about that. So $2,000 of income says that I need to do $4,000 of premium. And by the way, if you don't do that correctly, ain't going to work. If you don't follow the process, that breaks down to $500 a week. Now I got a question. At $500 a week for 10 hours a week, what's that breakdown per hour? Anyone tell me? $500 a week, but I got to put in 10 hours. What's that break down to? $50 an hour. I think it's fair to say that $50 an hour for part-time work is a decent income. Yes, on your way to bigger success. You just need to clearly understand what that looks like. So the best way to achieve that, and you're going to have to trust me on this, I've been doing this for 40 plus years, that it breaks down to 2 recruits weekly. Anywhere in your business, if you're the trainer. That's why I want you independent. All right. But I want you independent knowing what you're doing. So remember, you write the life sale as a trainer, right? So what's that breakdown to? Don't you love this t-shirt, by the way? I'm very sorry to hear that the direct and predictable results of your actions happen to you. See, if you put the wrong ingredients together, guess what? You'll never have a fire. Excuse me. So always convert any income goal or production goal that you have for a month into what it takes on a weekly basis, okay? So, a recruiting basis, excuse me. So then all you got to do is focus on recruiting to your agency. What's that look like? Activity. Because I have a lot of people all the time go, well, Jim, if I recruit, then when do I sell? Or then when do I make money? I know that's never happened to you. You think we avoid that question. Not at all. I'm attacking it. I think it's huge to understand this. I got a question. When you get licensed and you're independent, don't you want to be able to get out of your job? Don't you want to be in a position where you now know what to do? You're licensed. You can run a business. And don't businesses have people? I don't know of one that works very well if you're the only one that can do it. It's going to take you forever to get to your dreams and goals by yourself. Well, I know what it feels like because I'm a loner too. Okay. I like working alone and independent of nobody else. I like that. But guess what I found out? That leads to broke, or at least it leads to, I can do things myself, but I don't benefit the world much like that. If I can recruit, develop, and build an agency of people, I'm now making an impact on the world. I'll give you an example. You guys, our organization, Julie and I, have been paid about, you guys, without our income, about $1 million so far this year. $1 million. That's our payroll. Just for this team. Guess who had to write out those checks? Not me. The company. Now just think about this. If I have $1 million payroll, am I affecting taxes for our government? Is our government better off if people pay taxes? Well, yeah, and we can all argue, what side of the fence you're on. I'm not here to do that today. But I'm boosting the economy, right? By helping others make an income. Fair? Fair? Yes? No? I mean, I'm watching every single head, okay? In case you didn't know, I'm watching you. So what kind of activity does it take? Simple. 4 attended Zooms weekly equals 2 recruits and 1 life sale. So what's that break down to? Here's the inputs. 6 booked Zoom interviews weekly. That's all it takes. 9 text messages. Is it very hard to text? Oh my God, using boards, you don't even have to think about the words. That's $2,000 a month. That's what it breaks down to. Wow. That's not that. See, our results become very predictable, right? If we understand the inputs and understand the why. So here's what you got to do. You got to change your beliefs. This is a good friend I've been friends with for years. And he's got a good message on your beliefs.
We've got to evaluate it. Are my beliefs serving me? And if they're not, then change them. How do we do that? Two ways. One way is called autosuggestion. The Bible talks about as renewing your mind. What is he saying? He's saying you got to change the way that you think. And repetition is the mother of learning. You've got to repeat some of those new ideas, some of those new beliefs that you want to have instead of what you have. And over time, you begin to accept those new thoughts and those new beliefs as true. The second is something called emotional anchoring. Whenever your life has a spike or a valley on the emotional landscape of your life, your subconscious mind imprints all of that information. You can remember those things even though you may not want to remember some of those things. But 30 years later, you're right back there. Well, that happens by default sometimes, but if you're smart, you'll learn how to use it on purpose. And you put yourself in proximity and in an environment where you can imprint some of those new beliefs.
Is this the right environment or what? You got to be plugged in every Tuesday night. You can't be multitasking on Tuesday nights. Get your cameras on. Be engaged. That's what it takes. I'm talking about changing your life. I'm talking about making a huge difference and a huge impact. So that's what I'm talking about, okay? So I just want you to know, by the way, he wrote a book called Byproduct. And I'm not here to sell books, okay? I actually bought them when they were about $35 a piece. They've now come down to about half that price, $17.58 on Amazon. Here's our offer for showing up today. Really simple. Julie and I will mail you, only the participants of today. 43 people logged in right now, and a couple of you, there's more than one of you on here. The first ones to order until they're sold out will get it for $5, which includes shipping, okay? You can go to Amazon right now and go look up the book. You will pay $17.58 plus shipping. So I have a scan code. If you know how to use it, there it is. Just hold your camera up. You can scan it and order a book for $5. Okay. Get your own copy. My suggestion is that you order the book, that you start reading it and working on you on a daily basis. It's a big deal. Okay. So we did that because we want to invest in you, and we wanted to find a way to invest in you for being part of this project today. All right. So I saw several of you picking up your cameras. There's also a link, and we will post that in the Life Licensed Summit only, just for you, in the Life Licensed Summit Telegram today. Okay, so if you didn't get it, you can just click on the link in your Telegram. You can get a copy of that book, okay? I want to turn it over to an expert. Julie has studied this part of our system. She is the absolute expert. I don't want to take any of her time. I want to introduce you to my partner in everything I do. And by the way, I want to thank her for yesterday taking me to the hospital for my CT scan and checkup that went so incredibly well. My surgeon told me that out of all the CTs I've seen you have over these last several years, that was the cleanest and clearest I've ever seen. So we don't have to see you for a year. Oncologically speaking, he said there is no cancer. Praise God. So I want to share my wife with you, and my partner, my business partner, my love, Julie Martinson.
All right. let's rock and roll here. I'm super excited about this day. Okay, first slide. The following, what we're going to talk about is proprietary information and not to be shared with anyone, please, right? We're trying to get you guys to make a bunch of money and have all the success before the rest of the world figures all this out, right? So if you, as you learn this information, keep it within our team, okay? That's all we're asking. All right, using social media to build. What we want you to understand is we want you to use social media now, not for consumption and entertainment, which is what we've all done in the past, right? But we want you now to know that you can use this as a business tool, okay? Next slide. We are going to be 100% referral based, which is super awesome. And most of us use social media as a consumer, and you need to understand the market that we have. It's now your marketing and building tool, and it has to be used like that, okay? Next slide. In the United States, there's 194.1 million users. That's more than half of the US population, you guys. If you think you don't have people to talk to, you are not paying attention. People have their phones with them everywhere they go. Have y'all taken the phone with you into the bathroom? Do you have it in your bedroom at night? I mean, come on, people have it with them all the time. The highest demographic using Facebook is ages 25 to 34, and it's the fastest and simplest way to reach people. 78% of women use Facebook compared to 59% of men, and Americans spend 2 hours and 24 minutes a day on Facebook. Facebook has 3 billion active users. Pay attention to the note there. When you start using Facebook, realize the whole world has access to Facebook. And I've prospected a couple people, and I've realized they're in Africa, or they're in Zimbabwe, or they're in some other country. And it's like, oh, sorry, can't help you, right? So pay attention to what you're doing when you're talking with people through Facebook. Next slide. This is our #1 referral-based business, right? Facebook is our #1 source for that. The average user has 155 friends who have a collective 24,000. So if those 155 friends have 155 friends, right? 155 times 155 is 24,025 friends. Okay, are you with me? Who have a collective of 3,723,000 friends. You're only 3 layers deep so far, you guys. And we're talking 3 million people at your fingertips, okay? Those 3 million turn into 577 million, okay? Everyone you meet is worth 4 to 5 referrals from everyone on earth, okay? That is mind-blowing. Our market is so huge. If you can wrap your head around this, you guys, you should have appointments all day long, every day, right? Do you really understand how gigantic this is, right? And how important it is to learn this process. So I want you guys to really pay attention here. I'm going to talk fast and we're going to go quickly, but you got to catch the details, okay? We're going to talk about Facebook mining. If you have 400 friends and they have 400 friends, that's 160,000 friends times 400 friends is 64 million friends. Your goal is to get 20 to 30 new associates to become licensed and independent. If you get 20 to 30 independent licensed agents, you're well on your way to seeing success, right? We're going to talk about posting on Facebook. Okay, so where do you start? #1, make sure your Facebook page is on professional setting. If you don't know how to do that, Google it. There's tons of YouTube channels out there, okay? But you have to be on professional setting. #2, please remove all political, religious views and incriminating photos, and any foul language. Because what's going to happen as you start commenting on other people's posts, they're going to go, who is this Julie Martinson? I'm going to go check her out, right? And if my Facebook posts, my feed, personal feed is a mess, they're going to go, yeah, no, thank you. Move on. There's too many people on Facebook. Why mess with somebody who doesn't have their act together, right? So make sure you remove kind of that stuff. We also are asking you to remove Primerica. Why is that? Now listen to me carefully. We love Primerica. We bleed Primerica. But if somebody comes and checks me out before I get a chance to actually show them who we are and what we do, and they see the word Primerica, go Google Primerica and tell me what you find, right? Now, it may show you that we're Forbes 500. It may show you we've got the, best ratings around, but it also might show you that, oh, that Primerica thing is a scam. Oh, that Primerica thing is whatever. You cannot control what people see on Google. So just remove Facebook, remove Primerica from your Facebook feed anywhere, okay? This is a big deal, you guys. How many of you have tried to do a post for someone and they had little to no engagement, right? So we're going to show you how to fix that right now. The first thing you want to do is have those people start engaging by commenting on their posts and other people's posts, and you comment on their posts. And you always want to end your comment with a question. So it draws other people back into you, and they have to answer your question. When they answer your question, you come back and ask them another question. Why do you do that? The reason you do that is because Facebook pays attention to what's happening within a post. And if a post is getting comment after comment after comment after comment, and people are starting to chitter chatter within your post, they're going to place that post higher in the feed. Okay. So what you want to do is create high quality, relevant content, actively engaging with your audience through comments and replies, and participating in relevant groups and communities to expand your reach. Next slide. Now, responding to comments promptly helps, right? If you put a question out there and then you don't answer someone's question for 3 days, that is not helping you. You have to, remember, you're now using Facebook as your marketing tool, right? You have to stay on top of it. And I'm not asking you to scroll feeds all day long, because that's a waste of time. I'm asking you to respond and comment to things that you have participated in, right? Your whole point of Facebook is to build relationships with other people. If you met me in the hall and said, hey, how are you? And I gave you a thumbs up and walked away, wouldn't you think that's kind of weird, right? You can't just emoji somebody and keep moving on. You're wanting to build relationships with other people. So you have to comment and engage them. You want to join groups and participate actively by sharing insightful comments and engaging with other members. You guys, there's 10 million Facebook groups. But again, pay attention to where they're located, right? You don't want to be starting a group in London, England. You want to utilize Facebook stories. You want to utilize Facebook Lives. You want to have events that enhance your visibility and reach. Remember, Facebook algorithms love pictures. You're in business now, you guys. You have to pay attention to this stuff. Again, remember, your target market is the United States, right? So the tools we're using for our prospecting, okay, are Zoom, which you can set up a free account. It's on the new presenter channel. You're all a part of the new presenter channel, and all the links to Zoom, Calendly, and boards are in that channel. If you have not set up your Zoom, your free Calendly, and your boards app, which is free, you've got some homework to do, okay? You have to do that, because once you start engaging with people, You want to have your system in place where if somebody says, hey, I'm interested, I want to hear more on what you do, what are you going to do? Right? We're going to teach you that right now, but you have to have your tools in place and ready to go and done correctly. Okay. Next slide. So this is how you do it. Once your Facebook page is ready to post, you're going to go to your boards. When you join boards, we're going to add you to something called Tenacious Text. And how boards works is if you have ever tried to text somebody, you know, when you go to text someone, your big keyboard comes up, but in the lower left or right corner of your big keyboard, there's a tiny, tiny little bitty keyboard. If you click on that keyboard, it'll bring up a list of options. And one of those options is going to be boards. Once you have it uploaded on your phone, the boards app, one of those options is boards. All you have to do is find the response you want to do, and you click on it, and automatically populates into your Facebook Messenger or your text message. Okay. So once you have everything, your tools in place, and your Facebook page is ready to post, you're going to go to boards and find the initial post. Once you make a post that says, hey friends, looking for work, we have remote positions available, and you'll see this in the next couple slides we show you. I'm telling you guys, people jump on that post, and all of a sudden you're going to have 15 people responding saying interested, tell me more, interested. Big rule here. Do not comment on your post except to say, I'll PM you. What does PM mean? PM means I'm going to take it off Facebook into the personal messaging part of Facebook. So it's just between you and them. That's really important, you guys, or Primerica is going to shut this whole Facebook thing down. So you comment, can I personal message you? And of course, they always say yes. Then you go to boards and you find your first response, right? Never answer any questions on the main page. And even when you start personal messaging people, some people might say, is this commission based? Is this sales? Is that, you know, they're going to ask questions. I never answer their questions. I just put the next response that basically says, let's set a time to get together so we can tell you more about who we are and what we do. And they always say, okay, right? All right, next slide. So you're going to send them a link to your free Calendly. So once somebody says, I'm interested, you say, can I personal message you? You go into Facebook's personal message and you put the first response that says, so we do financial services. You kind of tell them what we do. And there's a question at the end of that that says, can you pass a background check? And practically 10 times out of 10, if you're in the right markets, they're going to say, yes, I do not have an issue passing a background check. That's where they may pop up a few questions. Ignore their questions. The next response you're going to give them is, let's set up a time to get together so I can show you who we are, what we do, and talk more about details. I'm going to send you a link to my calendar. You're going to have your Calendly link in that message. So they're going to get your scheduling link and they're going to set a time with you. By using your Calendly link, you don't have to do anything else. You wake up tomorrow morning and you might have 5 appointments set for you that day because people clicked on a time that you were available tomorrow to do an interview with you. It's as simple as that, right? Again, you're all on the presenter Telegram channel, and this is where you're going to find all of this stuff, right? A secret, next slide, a secret to building this quickly is asking other people to share your post. Your post that says, hey friends, do you need work? Okay. If you can get a bunch of people to share your post, you're going to have access to a lot more markets and a lot more people. Remember, 155 people on your friend list, each have 155 people, right? 155 times 155, I forgot what it is, but it's like 24,000 people, right? All of a sudden your post is being seen by a lot more people. Be sure to set your own page settings to review posts when someone tags you. Anybody who shares your post, you're going to have them tag you. Otherwise, you don't see what's going on in that post. They could have 100 people saying, I'm interested, but because you're not tagged, you don't see any of that. By setting your Facebook, your own private Facebook page to review posts, what that means is that, so let's say Dorothy Jones puts an ad out, says, hey friends, do you need work? And I respond and say, yes, I'm interested. The first thing I'm going to do is go check out who is Dorothy Jones, right? And I'm going to go to her Facebook feed, her personal Facebook feed, and I'm going to see what does she post? Who is she friends with, right? And if I go in there and I see 12 different people that tagged Dorothy and said, hey friends, do you need work? 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 On Dorothy's feed, I'm going to go scam. I'm not doing this, right? Dorothy's trying to monopolize a bunch of people somehow. So it's really important that you look at your own personal Facebook feed and make sure your settings are set to review any posts that you're tagged in. Make sure the post is always public and make sure it has a picture in it as well. So we're talking about branding you. You're running your own agency now, right? So begin the branding with the play. You're going to use the third-party post, tag your trainer. So if you're new to this and you don't know what you're doing yet, what you want to do is there's two different posts within boards. One says, I am expanding. The other says, my friend is expanding. Okay, if you're using the one that says, my friend is expanding, make sure you tag your field trainer who can walk you through all of that. As soon as someone sets an appointment with you, they're going to invite you to that appointment through their Google Calendar. Okay. So again, you're going to ask people to share for you. Remember that they share the post, you do all the work, make sure they know that. You're going to utilize boards for all of that again. And every new associate has a market share a post, right? So if you have, next slide, Jim, if you have 10 shares times 400 friends, right? That's 4,000 people seeing your post. Okay. If you've been here for a little while, by a little while, I mean more than 3 years, you guys remember what we used to have to try to do to access someone's market. We had to sit down with you one-on-one and say, who do you know? Now, I don't want you to forget that way because that's a really good thing to have in the back of your mind, right? Who was your favorite teacher? Who was your best friend growing up? Who was your neighbor? Those are going to just generate ideas for you down the road. But the next slide. So text to someone and ask them to post before the interview. So let's say that I was interested in Dorothy's post and I set a time to have an interview with Dorothy or her field trainer, right? We have found success in reaching out to Julie Martinson now because I'm the one that's going to be interviewed and say, Julie, you have an interview set with us on Monday at 10 a.m. Would you do me a favor? We're still looking to hire at least a few more people. And maybe you know a couple of people looking to make some extra money. This is all found in boards, you guys, okay? If I sent you a Facebook post, could you put it on your feed, making sure it's public and tagging me? Now, what is that doing? If I'm going to be interviewed on Monday and Dorothy's asking me to do a post, of course I'm going to say yes. My interview is on the line, right? And secondly, I may decide not to show up for my interview, but I can't stop anybody who already said interested to the post that I did, right? There might be appointments set from the post I did and I don't even show up for my interview, right? Again, if they ask questions, direct them to the trainer and you don't make sure they know you don't have to do anything else, right? Important, on the last line of the actual post, there's a blank. It says, for more information, ask so-and-so and they'll reach out to you. Make sure you fill in that name. And again, you got to be tagged in these posts, okay? So this is what the actual post looks like. If you look on the far left, it says, feel free to share. Maybe someone you know is looking. Hi friends, do you need work? My friend is gearing up to open new offices, and I am so excited to share that they're looking to bring on new people. Remote positions available immediately. Their financial office is looking, right? You could read all that. People who have high character and a heart to serve others. They have work from home and remote income. Listen, work from home and remote, those two words, grab people's attention. Everybody's looking for that right now. We have spare time, part-time, full-time, and there's a description. Hours are negotiable, no experience needed, just a clean background. They provide all the training and licensing. PM blank if interested. I'm telling you guys, if I see a post go out that's got a blank line there, I'm going to be ticked because we just told you, put in someone's name there, right? PM Jeffrey Feldhusen if interested. PM Dorothy Jones if interested. Comment down below if you or someone you know are interested, and we will get back to you ASAP. And always include a picture, make it public, and tag the field trainer.
One more time, Julie.
Yep.
All of this verbiage, if you just follow our process step by step, click, all you got to do is click boards. You don't have to retype all this stuff out. You're using the technology that we've given you to do. And the technology is free.
When you guys join boards, you have to watch the tutorial it gives you. Once you do that, you'll get it. It's super simple, but you have to watch it to know how to use it. So our first job is to help families save money and get out of debt, obtain proper protection, and bring in a savings plan, right? Our next job is the expansion, and that you understand you can build a company within the company, your own agency, right? We're going to help you make a Facebook post and see who's open to making extra incomes. So you want to friend people that you're working with and through, so you're building your own friends on Facebook. So always friend people you're not friends with already once you've started communicating with them. You're going to create the post with a really nice picture and have them tag you. Ask them for 10 close people to share the post, and then create a three-way personal message with interested people if you're not capable of doing that yourself, right? Next slide. So Facebook groups. Now listen, you guys, remember there's 10 million Facebook groups out there. So don't just join a bunch of groups. You want to find groups that you're interested in that you can comment with intelligence, right? So let's say you love to cook. By the way, cooking and food are the #1 groups out there. And what you want to do is start being helpful in the group. Okay, you're not going in there and going, ooh, that person looks like the right market. She looks like she's 30 years old. She's got small kids. Friend, 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 friend. No, the point of joining groups is to engage with others. When you start engaging with them by asking them questions, they're going to go, who is this person? They seem super nice. And they're going to go to your Facebook page and they're going to check you out. You keep engaging them, and they're going to eventually go, what do you do for a living? Right? So join groups, but be intelligent in the groups. You're not there just to farm people. You're there to impact the group in a positive way. And by doing that, people are going to reach out to you, right?
And if they need help on any of this, reach out to your trainers or Julie and I personally. Actually, Julie is an expert at this. She works on that part a lot. That's why she's teaching it. Guys, we want to help you win today. Okay?
Okay, next slide. So what if you have somebody post and they get crickets, right? What if a new associate isn't comfortable with using their own Facebook page? I know some people have jobs that their employers are watching their Facebook pages and they don't want to get fired, right? We get it, right? What if one of our certified agency builders lacks activity? Used in the right situation with the right people, that's a key here, and you're going to lean on Jim and Julie for advice. We have some really great ideas to get a bunch of activity going, okay? Next slide. And here's our ideas. You're going to utilize old recruits, clients, and
By the
silent
way,
partners.
real quick, you just got to be willing to work. You got to be willing to follow through. Show us that you really are serious.
Right.
That's all. We want to help you. We couldn't have done this before.
Okay, really quick business idea. Let's say you hired 10 people in the last couple months, and 8 of those people have left the business already. What are you doing with those names? I'll tell you what we do. As soon as I know someone is no longer pursuing Primerica, we have groups set up within our Gmail contacts that say Team Tenacious Base Shop. As soon as somebody says, you know what, this really isn't for me, we uncheck that box. They're no longer a part of Team Tenacious Base Shop. We have a new group that's called Previous Recruits. We check that box. Now listen, you guys, gold here. I have a boatload of people in Previous Recruits. Do you see the first line on this slide? Utilize old recruits. Those people know what we do. Those people love what we do. They joined the business. They signed an IBA. Call them and say, would you do me a post? They, of course, will, if you gave them a good experience here and they left happy. If you've got people walking out the door because you don't pay attention to them, they haven't made any money, they don't understand what this business is, and they walk away with a sour taste in their mouth, you're not going to get anywhere with them. But some of these people have walked away because their job took over or whatever their case is. We have a boatload of people in a little group in our Gmail that says Previous Recruits. And you all need to start a business practice of doing something like that. You get low activity, you're like, crap, I don't have very many appointments this week. Boom, you've got a gold mine sitting there, right? Any reps that are still with us that are maybe inactive, right? They're just not doing anything right now. Let's get some things going for them. It's gold, you guys. So let's say you do a post with a bunch of old recruits or even your current clients. Obviously, current clients love what we do, right? So you ask a couple of your clients to do a post, and all of a sudden you've got 40 appointments in the next week. What are you going to do? Well, hello, you farm them out to your competent people. However, do you remember the slide before that said, used in the right situation with the right people? The right people are showing up on Tuesday night. They're learning to get their license. They're trying to get their license. They're getting through that process. And they're trying to build their business, their agency, right? Those are the right people that you're going to farm your appointments out to. But how cool is that, right? All right, so I'm going to turn it back to Jim, I think. That was my last slide. Oh, this is that memory jogger that we used to sit down with people. And Jim, you can comment on this, how they could use that, and then you can go from there.
Well, it's really simple. Great job. Give her a hand, you guys. Great job. I know that you're getting a lot of information. Again, all of this process is known by your certified trainers. We have access to it in Telegram and boards in our process. So if you're confused, it's okay. Welcome to the club. Took us a minute too, but we want you to see step by step what's in your hands. We want you to see how big the market is. I don't think we realize all that we have. Listen, how many contacts in your cell phone? How do you know them? Half of them you never call. Is that fair? Half of them you never text. Probably more than that, right? We know people from so many different places. So this is just a great reminder that Facebook is the #1 place to be. Why? It's where the people are. This gives you a lot of great ideas for groups to join. It gives you a lot of ideas of the type of people you've been friends with. Just all kinds of opportunities and places to go. People have asked Julie and I sometimes, well, where can I make a sale? I know this person needs insurance. or this person isn't doing well financially. We'll bring them on, right? We're going to go through the client experience in a second here and listen to this.
Everybody has a turn back moment. You have a moment where you could go forward or you can give up. But the thing you have to keep in mind before you give up is that if you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen. That's the guarantee of quitting, that it will never happen no way under the sun. The only way the possibility remains that it can happen is if you never give up no matter what.
That is so true. I have learned that to be a truth. I watch people start and stop and start and stop and start and stop. We're hoping that today, for some of you, you already know a lot of this. You've been doing it. It's helped make this base shop #1 in the Midwest, and will continue. And our agency's growth, I promise you, we will be #1 in the nation. There's no doubt in my mind. But the question isn't us. The question is you. What do you want here? And are you going to give up? So I'm going to talk about what separates us. And we call it the crusade, guys. What we do is so life-changing and simple to learn, simple to understand. So I just want to make a comment after everything that we've just gone through, which was technology related ever since the beginning of the start of today. Some of you go, I'm not very good at technology. Well, then get better at technology. I don't know about Facebook. I'm not very good at it, or I don't like it, or whatever. Yeah, because you've used it as a consumer. You've never been introduced to it as a business. You never understood it, even at the level that you probably understand it more like now. So how about what we do? What separates us? Well, we start with the foundation, life insurance. And I want you to either take notes or pay really close attention. Every single person here, because you have a life license, have had knowledge of this. But may I remind you, there are only 2 types of life insurance. You go, well, Jim, there's universal life, variable life, you bet your life, term life, life to age 65, life to age 90. No, that isn't type. That's the names of the different ones. You need to understand it's really simple. There's only term and cash value. That's it. Term insurance is pure protection. Cash value insurance is an element of savings. Notice I use my fists when I talk, plus term insurance. It's that simple. Do not complicate that. You will be much more confident when you understand what I'm about to go through. So watch. There's cash value insurance. There's term insurance. Just said it. Cash value and term. What's term? Pure protection. What's cash value? Pure protection with the cash value attached. We call it bundling. Unlike the insurance commercials out there, okay, guys? Bundling is bundling a savings element along with a protection element. Here's how it works. So whole life, universal life, which, by the way, there's subversions of universal life, IUL, EIUL, and GIUL. You haven't even heard of some of that. Both types are cash value life insurance, and they have one thing in common. Insurance plus a savings. Watch me. Insurance plus a savings bundled together in one contract. Is that simple? Simple. Remember, part of our job is to demystify the complicated. Term insurance, well, there's really a few different kinds of term. There's level term, like we do at Primerica. The death benefit is level and the premium is level, remains level for the period of the term. Then there's annual renewable term, where the death benefit is level and the premium increases annually. Thus the name annual renewable term. Now, Then there's decreasing term. How's that work? Decreasing term works like this. You have a death benefit that decreases gradually over time. Our policies, guys, at whenever somebody wants to end the level portion, can go into a decreasing term to age 100 without proof of insurability. Thus, 100% of all of our contracts have the ability to insure our clients to age 100. Okay. So decreasing term, the death benefit will decrease. So instead of increasing because you're getting older, the premium remains level. Okay. Is that simple? That's it. That's every kind of life insurance, all simplified. Now I got a question. Has anyone that came here thought it was more complicated than that? Yeah, you want to know why? Because wherever you learned it from or never learned it from, that's why. Now, I always remind my clients when they go, oh, that's just, I got to talk to my agent. Listen, I want to remind each and every one of you, you all have a life license, right? Right? Just go like this. Yes. You took the exact same test that those jerks did. Okay? They don't know more than you. They took the same test. Don't you ever feel like you don't understand it. And frankly, if I lied, I'd lose my license. I don't want to do that. That's a big deal, right? If you lied, you'd lose your license. This is important stuff, guys. And then there's decreasing terms. So anyway, here is a biggie. If you want to take a screenshot, if you want to take a snapshot, whatever you want to call it, go ahead and take a picture of this one. This applies to every single cash value policy, every single one, no matter what its name, universal life, whole life, IUL, all that stuff. It's just funny how on TikTok today and Insta and all these places, people are listening to this crap about IUL. It's got the same rules that they've always had. Just another big lie. And if you take a minute to actually study it, you'd go, what a ripoff. This is why I joined this company and stayed here, because I went, you know how cool it is to wake up every day and know I'm right? Math is a science, and science is based on facts. Do you remember the formula we gave you earlier? That if you do the right 3 inputs, you get fire. Yes? If you're off just a little bit, what happens? No fire. That's science. Science is based on facts. In math, what I love about it, 2 + 2 is 4. You're using weird math. Oh, we can make a joke about that. No time today. But these funny bankings apply to every single cash value policy. Number 1, the savings part, not the protection part, the savings part keeps all your money for the first 1 to 5 years. I'm going to show you contracts in a second. Says it's a high rate of return, but pays a low rate of return. Charges you money to borrow your own money. So if that savings plan that they're selling you on has money in it, you have to take it as a loan against the contract. You'd never do that in the bank, would you? If you put money in a savings account in the bank, would you do that? How long would you keep doing that if you knew that's the way it worked? I mean, this is not hard. This is not difficult, guys. You just need to know your stuff and be reminded about the test you took. That contract keeps your money when you die. So even though you bought two things, you bought a pair of shoes, right? When you buy cash value life insurance, you're buying two things. Problem is, they're bundled together. When you die, you get the protection. When you live, you got the cash, but you can never get both. You ever learned how to live and die at the same time? Then you should never combine both in an insurance product. Ever! 5, they can take up there's a clause in every single cash value policy that they could take up to 6 months when you request your cash. And 6, especially in the latest versions, they increase fees without telling you. I'll show you all of that stuff in a second. Contract by contract. So that you know. Because most of you have never seen any other contracts out there other than maybe you had one. So the question is, if your friends and family had money there, would they want you to tell you about it or keep it a secret? Of course they'd want you to tell you about it. Yeah. So here's cash value life insurance. It's really simple. 2 things bundled together in one contract. Notice it's all blue in that square. You all see that? It's all blue. Look. You got $250,000 of coverage. Your premium's $200 a month in this case. Part of that premium pays for insurance. Part of it goes into the savings. Look at me. Who can tell me exactly every year how much of that $200 goes for insurance and how much goes to savings? Who can do it? No, really. I'm asking you all a question. Who can do it? You want to get an old cash value life insurance agent all messed up? Say, Mr. Agent, I'd like you to tell me exactly how much of my $200 I pay every month goes in for insurance and how much goes for savings. He'll have to say it's complicated. Because every year the cost of insurance does what, everybody? Goes up, reducing the amount of the $200 that goes to savings. Are you all understanding me? Maybe better than you ever had, Anna, right? Is that a ripoff? Oh, and by the way, on the savings side, they tell you they're going to give you X amount interest, but on, watch this, write this down. On what? Interest on what? All the money I give you? The answer is no. Is this rocket science, guys? This isn't complicated. Look, super simple. I get to wake up every day and help people get out of this stuff. In 20 years, there's going to be 20,000 of cash. And here's the rules. They keep all your money for the first 1 to 5 years. There's 0 that goes into the savings. No, wait a minute. Did they tell you that? You think they tell people that? Come on, everybody, help me. Be a little verbal today.
No.
Did they tell them that?
Absolutely no.
Is that a ripoff?
Absolutely, yes, it's a ripoff.
Rip off, run.
We got to get this in our hearts. You got to know this. This is what will wake you up every day. Man, I get to go out and change lives. Like, honestly, people don't know this. And this is a product people buy and need. Says it's a high rate, but it's a low rate.
That's
All
right.
is not earning the rate we quoted, is it? We know that. Borrow your own money and pay interest. Some of you get all, would you please, guys, those of you veterans especially, would you stop going into the woods somewhere? If somebody's got a policy that works like this, why do you have to do more than this? Hello? Anybody home?
Amen.
That's right.
Stop getting into the woods. Stop trying to be a financial planner and over smart people. Listen, all I need to know, if I got money that's working like that, what the hell else do I need to know?
There's a better
No
way.
offense, I'm dealing with an idiot if they say I want to keep that.
Right.
They keep the money when you die in that savings account. Is that the way it works when you put money in a savings in a mutual fund?
Nope, they're not.
Gosh, guys, you pay for two, you only get one. All the funny banking rules. Here's what we say. Buy term and invest the difference. Turn one box into two. Coverage of 250 is $50 a month for that same person. Take the savings, the 150, and in 20 years, just in a small average mutual fund, it's 100 grand. What do I get if I die?
Oh,
Nothing. I'm
All
dead.
of it.
Nothing.
you
I'm
don't get
dead.
nothing, you're right. Family would get both.
My family gets both. Don't they get both? The 250
Yes.
and the 100 grand?
Yes,
Is that a no-brainer?
yes.
If I want to take money out of my own investment, is it separate from my insurance?
Yes.
Yes.
So do I have to take it out as a loan, which affects the policy?
No.
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 Why don't you get good at this? Stop going into the woods. Funny banking. See, there's no funny banking on our investment. You the immediate balance first month, first day. You can withdraw the money, no borrow. When you die, you get the death benefit plus the savings. You pay for two and you get two. It's no more complicated than that. Can you learn that? Can you teach other people how to do that? It's important because, again, some people try to outsmart the process and the system and try to make it complicated and confusing. How about this? So, cash value versus term, A versus B. Let me ask you, Mr. or Mrs. Client, if you were to die early, would you rather have A or B? Everyone.
B.
B. B.
If you were to live too long, would you rather have A or B?
B.
B.
Was this hard?
No.
Nope.
Now, I know when you took your license, you probably went, wow, they didn't make it that simple. Because you have to learn all the mumbo jumbo and you're all worried about all that. Listen, here's the cool part. You got your license, everybody. You're here. Okay? Now all you got to do is simplify it for the consumer and yourself. And I do it every time. You go, well, Jim, what if I don't have a PowerPoint? Use your fists like I did. Keep them on the screen, right? So they can see it, right? How about this one? So no matter whether we die or live too long, buy term and invest difference is always best for the consumer, isn't it? This is not rocket science, guys. I think it's pretty cool. So how about I show you some actual contracts? So I've been doing this a long time. So I've had the value of actually saving policies that I've written all over for clients. I used to keep a box in my office. For those who've been with me for a long time, Julie, can they see my folder? I have a folder, by the way, with actual contracts in it. Can you see them all?
No.
Okay. You can't see all my contracts? All right. Let me share it.
I thought you were talking about the box at the office. It's like big.
I did used to have an actual
Loaded.
box at the office with physical policies. Now, because we train on Zoom, right? I want you to all see them. Okay. I want you to see contracts that we dealt with. Whether, I'm sorry. You do. Okay. Thank you. So do you see them all, guys? Do you think I've done
Yes.
my homework?
Yep.
Okay. Would you like access to these so you can study them too if you want to sometime? You may. Just ask. Okay. I call this one Woodchuck of America. I like to have fun. Okay. Woodchuck of America. Let's just take a look at him quick. Let's see what Jim learned about Woodchuck of America. Can you see my screen of Woodchuck?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see that I circled some things and just made it simple to look at? So they're paying, you can see over here, here's their premium outlay. When did they buy this policy, everyone?
It's a little hard to see. If you want to zoom in a little, it might help.
Sure.
If you could, at
Yeah.
the very bottom of your screen.
I'd be happy to.
Old eyes can't see that.
Oh, that's bad.
Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So what age did they buy this?
39.
39. Where do you find that? Right here.
At the top.
Right here. Do y'all see this? Do you see my little cursor going around?
Yeah.
Age 39. What were they paying monthly?
$15.
Yeah. Now, Modern
$15.
Woodchuck happens to be something called a fraternal company. Catholic Knights, Knights of Columbus, Modern Woodchuck, Thrivent, AAL. They're all now known as Thrivent. Okay. Aid Association of Lutherans, right? All those are fraternal companies. So they got some fun things in them. They all make you pay a fee. They go, oh, it's only $1 a month. Because you don't have to be Catholic to buy the Catholic Knights. You don't have to be Lutheran to buy the Lutheran insurance. They just use the church for their marketing ploys. And they are for profit, just so you all know. Oh, but they do good things in the community. Got a question? I have a question to ponder. Can't I donate to those places on my own directly and not have to pass through an insurance company?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, and they sell us on all that crap. And they charge you dues to do it for you. I mean, hey, I'm not even paid past the first line on page 1. Right? Look at this. It builds a cash value up, doesn't it? What's it say right there? This certificate is in year 17. The end of each certificate year occurs every April. Based on guaranteed elements, the certificate will what?
Terminate.
Terminate.
Due to insufficient premiums. Right there. Do you see that?
Right.
Now what do you do when you need it most? You're my age. Like, that's my age right now. Did they tell us that?
No.
Oh, that's, by the way, on top of all the other things I just described in funny banking. You know what? Do y'all think that people actually read their policies? What do you think?
No.
Do you think they even understand them?
No.
By the way, Modern Woodchuck also sells term insurance. Oh, I could go on. And by the way, you guys, they're all the same. They're all the same. They all work the same. Term insurance is term insurance. They all do the exact same crap. So let me show you this one. This one's their term insurance. How do I know? Page 1. Read this out loud, somebody. Quickly. I want to keep this going. Read this out loud for me. Missy,
the
would you?
society agrees to provide the benefits described in the certificate and has caused it to be signed by its president and secretary at Omaha, Nebraska on its date of issue.
Do you notice what they called it? Did they call it an insurance company? What'd they call it?
Society.
Second
Society.
word. Society. What's that mean? It's a fraternal benefit society. What's that mean?
Cash value.
Oh, there's a difference. No, this one's actually a term. There's a difference.
It's the people.
Jeffrey, what words are in every single fraternal company's contract?
Maintenance of solvency.
Maintenance of solvency. Google that one, guys. Maintenance of solvency within a fraternal life insurance company. Got to do all those words in Google. Maintenance of solvency in a fraternal life insurance company. When somebody has it, you can read it. What is this one named? 10-year what? Come on, everybody. Come on.
Level term.
It says it's 10-year level term, but certificates 1 through 3, you're going to pay $130, the premium. 4 through 10, $269. In year 4, it's 2 times more the cost, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Think people read it? My policy going up. And by the way, y'all trust your clients. Even some of you have told our reps, hey, oh, mine doesn't work like that. What a joke. Western Reserve. What is this right here? Little arrow. What is this? What kind of insurance is this?
Flexible premium variable life insurance.
That's right. What did they qualify for? Preferred elite, whatever the hell that means, right? And their premium is $227. Anyone ever notice all the charges and fees in a cash value policy, especially universal life and IUL? Read those, please. Somebody read them out loud. They're monthly. Oh, you need me to make them bigger? Sorry, I'll make them bigger. Does that help? Monthly policy charges. Go ahead.
Current policy years 1 through 10, $8. Policy years 11 plus, $4. Guaranteed $12 per month.
Per month, just in fees. Then what else?
Monthly per unit charge per
So
1,000.
stop. What is per unit? What's a unit according to them? $1,000. And how many units do they have on this policy? Do you remember? Let's go back. 250,000. You see that? By age 40. So now you take this number times what?
250.
250 times 0.08.
0.08.
That's another fee. Plus these fees. So if you cancel the policy early, you have 9 years of surrender charges. Do you think they did a very good job explaining that?
No. No, they don't.
I usually get through about this far, and here's some more fees, by the way. I usually get about this far. And you know what I say? Mr. and Mrs. Client, do you want me to go further? What do you think the clients usually say?
No.
This is
No,
stupid.
that's
I never
enough.
read it before. Is this hard?
No.
You know what and by the way, y'all gonna have access to any of that. I mean, anytime, right? You want to study it for one purpose, to keep it simple. But maybe you need to be convicted and be reminded of the license that you have. Guys, I'm going to tell you, this pissed me off when I saw this stuff because I owned it. And so did my dad. Man, this is powerful stuff that we're sharing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Guys, I could go into all the different terms. I had all kinds of them. I just don't have time today to go into it. But for those of you that are interested, just dig in. You want to get pissed off. You go, well, where does it say all those funny banking stuff? In all the gobbledygook.
Mhm.
And they do that on purpose to mystify the clients. And so if they're mystified or confused, they stay right where they're at. Your job is to what? Demystify and simplify with confidence. So this is going to require audience participation. Those of you right now that do not have noise in your background, which should be everybody, I'm going to ask you to participate, okay? Okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you to read if you can. If you can't see it, tell me right away because I want to keep this process moving. Is anyone like getting excited about what you're learning today? Are we keeping our promise?
Yes.
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 Okay, good. Are you really glad you're here?
Yes.
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 I am. And I'm really glad you're here. All right. See that ripple right there?
Mhm.
See that ripple?
Yes.
That's the effect that today is going to have on the world around you. Because you see, you understanding at a deeper level gives you confidence, and that confidence will spread like that ripple. And it'll keep on going. So I'm going to have y'all read, okay? And I want you to read fairly quickly, fairly clearly, if you can. And so anyone that I see the first hand for, just read this. That's all you got to do. Anyone? Come on. Missy, go ahead.
Primerica life insurance companies are rated A+ superior by AM Best, something few life insurance companies can currently claim. Over 5.7 million lives insured through our life companies. 91% of claims are paid within 14 days. 903 billion of term life insurance in force, an average of 6.1 million in benefit claims paid every day.
Does that sound like some sort of sham to you?
No.
Okay. Guys, the reason why I'm having you read, I want you to really get this in. This is our product after you just saw the crap that's out there. Next, anyone, raise your hand quick. Anna, go for it.
MyPrimerica.com and e-delivery. Your Primerica coverage information is always at your fingertips at MyPrimerica.com. Log on and access your policy details and documents as well as contact information for your representative. You can also change your payment information and billing options.
That's right. Credibility. Who wants to read? Gus, can you read?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Credibility and quality. Primerica pioneered the buy term and invest the difference philosophy in 1977, which helps families protect their income with affordable term life insurance and offers a sound investment strategy to help them prepare for the future. Throughout our history, we have worked hard to meet the changing needs of the Main Street families we serve. Primerica's latest innovations, our Primerica Precision Term and Primerica Power Term life insurance products, provide our most competitive coverage for your needs and budget, with more convenience and security enhancements built in. Purchasing life insurance coverage doesn't have to be complicated, which is why we've gone above and beyond to make the entire process. From filling out the application and completing underwriting, to policy delivery and disclosures, as simplified and easy to understand as possible.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Jim.
Good. A mouthful. Christina, can you do this one?
Term links, Primerica's life companies offer terms of 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and even 35 years. And they are among the few that offer 35-year term policies.
Sorry, the 3 got in there as a mistake. By the way, y'all, the proper pronunciation, even those of you in the South, is not Primerica, it's Primerica.
Yeah.
Primerica. Thank you. All right. Next, who can read? Yes, Lisa. Hi, girl.
Industry-leading renewal, options and rates. Primerica offers you the most competitive options in the industry with no evidence of insurability.
Stop.
Continuation, you can keep your policy.
Stop. Would you do me a favor? At the very top, read
Sure.
one more time those words that start with no that are in bold.
No evidence of insurability.
So when we renew at the
Want me to
end
go ahead
of
now?
the term, that's what she's referring to. So if we do a 30-year term, do they have to prove insurability again?
No.
Wow, guys, we're the
No.
only ones. You're the only ones. Go ahead.
That's good because I'm going to be old in 30 years.
Yeah.
All right. Continuation can
Morning.
keep your policy and your premium. Continuation, you can keep your policy and your premiums will increase every 5 years to age 70, and they then increase annually to age 95. Annual renewable term. You can choose to exchange your policy for an annual renewable term policy, which means that you will keep your coverage at the original face amount, but your premium will increase annually on your policy anniversary. Decreasing term. You can choose to exchange your policy for a decreasing term policy, which means that your face amount will gradually decrease, but your premium will remain the same until you reach age 100, at which time your coverage will expire. Custom exchange. An alternative to the above 3 options, Custom Exchange 10 provides the level death benefit for 10 years. After 10 years, the death benefit decreases until age 100 or the coverage expires, whichever is earlier. Premiums are scheduled to remain level until coverage expires.
Guys, I think that's important information. Some of you that have even been here a while, these are good reminders, aren't they? Okay. How about this? Somebody else? Anybody? Go for it. Yep, Carrie.
So whether you wish to keep your original policy or exchange it for different coverage, you will remain covered as long as you pay your premiums. In addition to our guaranteed options, you may also apply for a more current product.
Can anyone tell me what happens to 100% of other term out there at the end of their terms? Can anybody tell me? 100% of them.
They convert to whole, don't they?
Yeah. They can only convert to permanent or whole life insurance, which is usually 5 to 10 times the cost of the policy that they're in. Now, here's the problem with that. If you become unhealthy, not die, sometime while you're in that contract, now when it converts to permanent insurance, is it guaranteed to happen? Nope. And it's guaranteed only to happen to permanent. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Guys, I think what we do is gigantic. Mike Kashbusky.
Automatic increase requests. AIR, Primerica's a revolutionary process. AIR is an innovation that allows you to tap one little button at the time of application and make a huge difference in the lives of your family. Select AIR, and if you qualify for a better rate class during the underwriting process, we will increase your coverage with the same premium amount that you have already budgeted for. AIR automatically provides even better protection for you and your family.
Wow. Who else does that?
Nobody.
How about this one? Next. Anybody? Jeffrey, go for it.
Automatic increasing benefit rider, IBR. Think about what a car, a week's worth of groceries, or a trip to the dentist cost 20 years ago versus what you would pay for the same things today. They all cost more today, and in some cases, a lot more than they did just 20 years ago. This increase in cost of just about everything you can buy is driven by the modest overall inflation North America has experienced over the last 2 decades. That's why many of the policies offered through Primerica now feature the automatic increasing Increasing Benefit Rider, IBR. The IBR gives you peace of mind knowing you can increase your coverage without having to prove insurability.
What are you hearing consistently? I know what I'm hearing. We are about this far away from the rest of the competition. From the rest of the competition, excuse me. Excuse me. For those of you that don't know, I have a tracheal stent that comes out next week.
Ooh.
And so that stent, with the stent in my trachea, I can't get, so when I cough, I'm not sick, but I got to get the mucus up, and it's slippery, right? The stent. So anyway, I just thought you should know. Sorry. Listen, guys, I'm seeing a lot that separates us, right?
Right.
I'm seeing that there's a crusade here, and maybe today learning more about the crusade. So, how about this one? Who would like to try? Go for it, Melissa.
How does the IBR work? The increasing benefit rider provides an automatic 10% increase in the original face amount of your coverage beginning in the second policy year and continuing for 10 years up to a maximum of $500,000. This can effectively double your face amount over that decade. Each coverage increase comes with a premium increase, which is shown in your policy at the time of issue. If you're under 56 and you've been issued standard or better risk coverage, your policy will feature is supposed to be feature an automatic IBR. Before each IBR increase, you'll receive a letter describing your new coverage and premium amounts. You can decline your annual IBR increase, but if you choose to decline an increase, that will end all future IBR increases.
Thank you. You know what I'm learning? You're going to be experts today. Like, you're never going to remember 100% of all of it. This is all resourced for you, so you'll have access to it. But is anyone feeling a little bit more confident so far today? Because that's my goal.
Yes.
Don't just raise your hand to raise your hand, but if you are feeling more confident about what you're doing, raise your hand. I want to see them. Okay, good. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. All right. Ruth Sattler, living benefit. Woo, this is huge.
Did you know this? Excuse me. Living benefits, terminal illness benefit. Stress from money concerns can mount during a time when a terminal illness has been diagnosed. Primerica includes a terminal illness benefit with every policy at no additional cost. If the insured is diagnosed by a physician as having a terminal illness and a life expectancy of 6 months or less, longer in certain U.S. states, you can apply for the terminal illness benefit. After the claim is approved, 40% of the policy face amount will be paid to the policy owner up to $250,000. If the TIB is paid, Primerica charges interest on the advanced portion of the face amount. Interest rates vary by state and province. The advance and the interest are deducted from the total face amount of the policy when the final death benefit is paid.
So I just want to point out, who is this really made for? You single people. Most of you don't have a situation where that kind of money would become available to you, and you'll see in a little bit how important that is. Having a living benefit is unbelievably important, okay? So here's a story that you have to know about terminal illness and why it's so huge. I'm going to have somebody, Kajua, could you read this for me? I'm going to read this one and then get ready. By the way, we were one of the very few carriers that include it free at no cost as a rider inside our policy. Okay? So we're going to tell you a story about this man right here. Has anyone ever heard of the name Magic Johnson?
Yes.
Okay. Because you is going to tell you a story about Magic Johnson that she probably didn't even know about.
In 1990, Magic Johnson was diagnosed with AIDS/HIV virus. Every other human being that was diagnosed in the world with AIDS was dead in 1995. As you may know, Magic Johnson is alive and doing well today with no signs of AIDS. Why? The reason he is alive is because for 10 years he received $10,000 worth of blood transfusion a week to keep himself alive.
A week?
Not enough for medication to catch up to him. The fact is, if you have money, you have option and optional treatments that you cannot get without money. Just basic insurance won't help in that scenario. You see again that most people think dying prematurely is the worst, but it is really if you didn't die and were very sick or very hurt. So God forbid that anything like that would happen, but just in case, having $400,000 in an account gives you options. Experimental treatments, go out of the country to get something that you can't get here. Experimental medicine, take time off, go on a vacation. Would it help you to have assets set aside like that? Do you have an account like that just in case? So that's why you must have it. So do you understand why that anything you get for free is good, but we just can't count on it? Anything that we need to have privately.
What
Remember,
that really means, just so you know, Kajua, is people have group insurance, but they don't have private personal insurance, do they? So take all you can get for free, but it doesn't include that. Go ahead. Sorry, read the last line.
No. Remember, if you say it, people doubt it. If they say it, it's 100% true. You must ask the question and then let them say it. If you don't ask, just like that, they will back out.
That's right. So next, who can help me next? Hands. I'm looking as fast as I can. Lisa, go for it.
Disability waiver of premium. Since money can become an issue while you're disabled, Primerica offers a disability waiver of premium rider. Under this benefit, if the insured is ever continuously disabled for 6 months or more, Primerica will waive the policy premiums that are due after your disablement passes the 6-month time period. We will also refund any premiums that were paid during that 6 months. Waiver of premium is available for issue ages 18 to 55 and terminates at age 60 in most states. If you're on a waiver when you turn 60, Primerica's life companies will continue to waive your premium for as long as your disability continues. If you want this benefit, you'll need to select the disability waiver of premium option at the time you apply for your policy.
I'm speechless, right? It's like phenomenal. Natalie, can you help us with the next one?
Gonna minimize it a little bit. There we go. Child rider benefits. Primerica Life Company's policies cover all eligible children with one rider that is added to the policy, and we charge only one policy fee, saving you money. The maximum coverage on a child rider is $50,000, and it can be issued for children at age 5 days up to 18 years old. The child rider covers children until 25 years old.
Wow. Wow. Let me help you with something. My very first death claim, was a child. We used to have 15 days from the moment of birth. We now have 5 days from the moment of birth. This child was born premature, 3 months premature. So at 6 months old in the womb, it was born. We paid on this because the child didn't make it out of the womb, okay? Because it was covered from 15 days. And by the way, technology really helps these little babes, stay alive. In this case, we lost the baby 21 days in. But the death benefit paid because it was counted as a rider. And by the way, if I have a child rider on my policy, because I at least have one child, all other children, as defined in the policy, are automatically covered from 5 days from the moment of birth, even if they weren't officially added to the contract.
Nice.
Learning anything?
Yes.
Yes.
Sally, can you read this one? Child rider conversions.
Child rider conversions. Because Primerica serves Main Street families, we offer our child rider conversion option to help young people get started with their life insurance coverage. When covered children turn 25, a separate policy can be purchased with a face amount up to 5 times the face amount of the child rider, up to $125,000 in total coverage without any underwriting requirement.
Wow. So if they got diabetes during that time, if they had kidney failure, if they're still alive, all those kinds of things, when we convert them, they get to 5 times the amount that they had coverage for under the rider that they can convert to with no proof of insurability and no underwriting questions. Is that crazy?
Yes.
Guys,
Yeah.
are we separating ourselves? Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy, right? Oh, and by the way, go ahead, shall we? On this.
Child paid up policy. If the insured dies, then all the children covered by the child rider receive paid up life policies through Primerica in the face amount of the original rider that covers them until age 25 for no additional premium.
Yeah.
This benefit applied to a family member of mine. And it
Thank
worked.
you, Debbie. Wow. You guys, it's just like you have the best of the best. Nobody out there has this stuff. How about Brant? Can you help us out on this one?
The conditional coverage. Part of Primerica's mission is to help families get the life coverage they need, and we want to do that as quickly as possible. That's why we offer conditional coverage. Conditional coverage exists when all the information in the application is true and complete, and your policy would have been issued at standard or better rate. And lastly, the company has received all items concerning insurability, medical exam results, bodily fluid studies, etc., and you have paid at least 1 full month's premium.
So, are CODs counted in this one? Nope. So if they would have submitted it with premium, even if the policy wasn't issued yet, but it would have been under normal circumstances, basically, they were still covered. I think it's important to understand all this, guys. All right. Who's next? Greg, can you help us?
Sure. Achieved contestability. Honored if you already have life insurance coverage and have either fully or partly completed the policy's contestability period, and you replace that policy with a Primerica policy. Primerica will honor that achieved contestability up to the same face amount of your previous policy, subject to certain terms and conditions outlined in your Primerica policy.
Thank you, Greg. So what that means is if I had 250,000 with somebody, and there's always a 2-year contestability where the insurance company could contest a claim had you died in the first 2 years. If you're beyond that 2 years and you got 250 with us, we're not going to make you start over. We're going to honor that. So even when we're replacing insurance, they don't lose any benefits. Ooh, this one's gigantic. Get ready. Who's going to help us? Mackenzie, can you help us?
Sure. No war or terror clause. In today's uncertain times, it's important that your life coverage be as complete as possible. A war or terror clause in an insurance contract means that if you are killed by an act of war or terror, the insurance company can refuse to pay your claim. Primerica's life companies do not have war or terror clauses in their policies.
One of the few. We only know of 2 that do this. Guys. How about this one? Nicole, can you help us? Oh, unmute.
Banded coverage. Primerica helps Main Street families keep more of their hard-earned money and get coverage they need by offering banded coverage. That means the more insurance you buy, the less expensive it becomes per $1,000 of coverage. Banding discounts does not include IBR increases. The face amounts for the premium bands are as follows. Band 1, $15,000 to $149,999. Band 2, $150,000 to $249,999. Band 3, $250,000 to $499,999. Band 4, $500,000 to $749,999. Band 5, $750,000 and up. You can personalize your policy based on your needs using riders with different term lengths and face amounts. Your representative can help share the theory of decreasing responsibility financial concept with you to help ensure that you have the right protection in place for each stage of your life.
Wow. Are you guys seeing how powerful what you do is? Was this good timing for this event or what? Was this really important to your career,
Yes.
like we told you? Yeah, good. I just think it's powerful, and thank you, guys. Listen, after paying out millions and millions in death claims, Julie and I have had the privilege and the honor of doing. Our business, by the way, has paid out close, just our team, to $50 million in death claims. We've seen a lot. Unfortunately, death happens. But fortunately, they had a financial security plan in place through us. You guys, you make a difference, man. Who will read the last one? Julie Martinson, will you please read that?
MyPrimerica.com and e-delivery. You guys, this is big. Clients can log on to MyPrimerica.com to access policy details and documents, as well as representative contact information. In the client portal, clients can elect communications delivery preference, view and print their policy, update their contact information, update their payment method and or change their banking information, make a payment. Direct bill clients can pay their premiums from a checking or savings account with no processing fee where available by debit or credit card, but there's a $2.95 charge fee. And you can add children to an existing child rider or complete and submit a child rider exchange package.
Here's the bottom line. We don't do old school anymore. This is the most secure private place that all of your loved ones should know about. And not only does it hold your Primerica policy, but it entirely holds all of your business with us. It also includes some special tools that you don't even have access to unless you're a client. Even us. okay, as agents. I've been working with home office personally. In fact, it just happened that I called on a day that the woman that I started talking to says, "You're my go-to." You're exactly what I've been looking for in home office. And I wanted to have ready for you today a generic myprimerica.com. All I can tell you is this. If you haven't accessed by the way, you can go to myprimerica.com and you're not going to have the ability to go in because you're not a client. Okay. If you are a client, wow, I dig into that, and we're going to show you how to use that tool more as time goes on. So this is a pretty bold statement right here. You're never going to be able to sell until.
When I think about how hard it seems to me for some people to learn how to sell, it blows my mind, but it shouldn't. Because when I first started selling, I was terrible. I got started selling insurance and investments in October of 1985. I did not make my first sale until April of 1987. Within a very, very short period of time after I made my first sale, I became the top salesperson in our office month after month after month after month after month. What I'm going to share with you in this video is how I did that. And it doesn't matter if you sell real estate, if you sell insurance, if you sell cars, if you sell shoes, if you sell information, if you sell coaching, if you sell agency work, it doesn't matter. I'm going to share with you multi-level marketing, all of it. I'm going to share with you how I sell. And selling to me now, it's easier than taking a nap. And I'm good at taking a nap. I make sure I take at least one a day, sometimes two. So here we go. Selling is hard. The number one reason selling is hard is because you want them to buy. That is the number one mistake new salespeople make in selling. They want the people to buy. Now, one of the reasons sales is easy for me, I'm not vested. Like I don't pretend I don't care if they don't buy. I actually don't care. Now, how can I say I don't care if they buy? I'm in sales. I'm out talking to people. I'm making presentations, but I'm saying I don't care if they buy. I'm saying I don't care if they buy because I understand a law called the law of averages. And the law of averages says out of every X number of presentations I do, I'm going to make Y number of sales. For everybody, that average is going to be different. So for some people, that law of averages is going to say, well, for every 10 presentations I make, I'm going to make one sale. For somebody else, it's every 20 presentations I make, I'm going to make one sale. For another person, it's every 30. For one person, it might be for every 4 presentations I make one sale. Well, here's what's really cool. You can increase your average through a concept called pre-indoctrination. Pre-indoctrination sounds, ooh, but it's not. So think about the word doctrine. What does the word doctrine mean? The word doctrine means teaching. So indoctrine means teaching that's inside them. So if you can teach them something about the result they desire, not about your stuff, not about your product, not about your offer, not about your service, but if you can teach them something about the transformation they're already looking for, before you make them the offer, the likelihood of them saying yes to the offer increases exponentially. It's mind-blowing. We have, by the way, I'm not patting, oh, Myron, you're so wonderful. Well, some days I'm wonderful, some days not so much. When I think about...
So, you see the old sales model out the door. Cold calls, sales demos, qualified leads, all that kind of stuff. The new model is utilizing social networks, which you've already been taught, engaging with them, and then educating them. That's what we do. That's what we do when we do a first presentation. That's what we do when we do a client experience. And that is what we do when we just taught you. Guys, you're going to help more people by indoctrinating them with education. It's that simple. You got to be able to explain the difference between the crap that's out there and what we do. How many of us, when we saw John and Mary the first time, probably when we were interviewing with you, went, That looks too good to be true. I've had it happen. I've had people say it. Looks too good to be true. And what I've always been taught is if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. It's one of those things, whatever, right? It's not. Guys, you got the greatest model. You got the greatest people helping you. You got the greatest process. You got the greatest products. They just need to be taught. They don't, here's the challenge with people. They don't know what they don't know. Thus, they can't ask the right questions if they don't understand. Right? And that's why we all need this, okay? So let me help you with the client experience. This is how we help people once they want to know more about, like, how can you help me? That would be everybody. That would be those of you here that haven't gone through a client experience. I think it'd be absolutely insane that you would consider doing this if you've never gone through it yourself. It just doesn't make sense. Just like the indoctrination we just talked about, going through this training and so on. So I'm going to click here. Julie, you got to tell me if it took me to where I wanted it to go.
It did not.
Okay. So I'm going to share where it just took me. And this is available again on Telegram, the actual client experience. It's the very first one. Okay. Now, there are resources in here, including, you see this little box that says resources? Watch this. You want to go deep? Every single resource that we've been talking about, including everything about our own product, is actually in here. You see this one? It says Primerica Life term coverage, all the options and benefits. Yes, it's everything we just did. It's a little brochure. It's literally I'll just show you really quick, just so you know what's here. That was under the resources. Look, can you see the brochure? Yeah. This is everything we just covered. You all just read everything in the form of a brochure. So if you ever forget it, it's right here. Okay. So everything you need is in this link. And that link, by the way, is found right here under the actual client experience. So just like we have all the words, all the scripts, everything for the first interview that we do for people in the first introduction, we have the same for our client experience. Do y'all see it? Do you see the client experience right now? The big green book, right? Can you see it, everyone? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So just so you know, right on this PDF, there's a link to Primerica Online, and there's a link to our How Money Works. You're going to need that, and a link to the resources I just said. And again, all of this, you already have access to. Okay, all of it. Click around, have fun with it. Here's the script. Everything in red you read, the black is what you learn. Okay, but you see the scripts are all right there. Do you see it, everyone? I'm going to literally go through this process in the form of a PowerPoint, not on the script, just because I want you to see it word for word. And so you can follow along. I'm going to do that with you in a second. So if I'm dealing with a scenario, by the way, through this process, I'm going to identify right here, what is the scenario? And y'all can even look at your own self, where you stood. Did I have no life insurance and was I single? There are only 5. There are only 5 possibilities that people can have, or a combination of any of these. No life insurance and they're single, no life insurance and they're married, group life insurance, permanent insurance, or term. That's it. So what we're going to do is, let's say we were meeting with you for the first time on a client experience. I would determine by the questions I ask in the red right here, really simple, what you have. And now I've already prepared in advance what scenario you're in. So here it is. Mary, do you mind if I gave you a couple minute education on why single people should have life insurance? What are most people in that scenario going to say? Sure, no problem. And by the way, if you went through this experience yourself and that happened to be you, it's exactly what I'd say, word for word. Does that sound salesy? No, just a question. What sounds salesy is information. Asking good questions is not salesy. So I'm going to go through these 5 scenarios with you in the form of a PowerPoint, but I want to show you something else. Do you notice at the bottom of each one of these scenarios, I'm just going to click through them, words that say transition to quick quote below. Do you all see that? If I just click on that, on any one of those, it'll redirect me immediately to Primerica Online. If I sign in, can you see Primerica Online, Julie? Julie?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I click sign in. I just sign in to my Primerica Online. It will bring me directly to Quick Quote once I'm signed in. Now I hadn't signed in for a minute, so there we go. And it might do that sometimes because my link will take me directly to Quick Quote. How cool is this? Pretty cool, right? So anyway, my Quick Quote is right here. Sometimes I have to refresh, but there's my Quick Quote. Now, if I know I'm meeting with a client, I already know some basic information, so I can store that information, quote for a client, based on what I received, knowing ahead of time, and I can have it prepared before they even get on. I click right here. I have what they have. And so the reason why I'm sharing all this with you, I want to go back. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I want you to see how simple this process really is. So I got all this from the client experience. I want to make sure you're seeing that. Yeah. And that is found in all your telegrams, literally all of this. So I want to demo what that looks like. Okay. So let's learn how to close the life insurance piece so that it stays on the books and you've done the proper job for people. You see, it should sound and look like this. You all see my PowerPoint now? Should be a green box on the left.
Yes.
Our job is to help people move forward, not let them sit and think and think and think. Okay? Some reps say, well, I don't want to be pushy. I don't either. First off, you need to remove the word pushy from your vocabulary because we're never going to teach you that. Never. Pushy is when you're trying to get someone to do something that's not in their best interest. You need to understand that. We don't do that. Pushy means that you're viewing it as something in your best interest, not in their best interest. Everyone, good? Just shake your heads. Yeah, I heard you. You see, look at this on the right-hand side. It's impossible to simultaneously be pushy and do what's in someone else's best interest. Impossible. They can't coexist. Remember, we're not selling vacuum cleaners and water purifiers here or crap that people don't really need. And then charging them interest on high interest loans because they couldn't afford it. We're being an advisor here, an educator, just like Myron just taught you. Okay? So, hello, my name is Uninsured American. I love this. If information were enough, there would not be 90 million families that don't even have personal life insurance. 90 million in America. Information by itself does not sell itself. You need to understand that. Financial products, therefore, are not bought, they're sold. I've never heard families say, hey, mommy and daddy, let's go out and shop for life insurance today. They just don't do it. I actually thought when the internet came along that one of the things that might happen is that the internet might kill our business. It actually helped it. It brought an awareness, but nobody does this business online. 90 million families don't have it. They're using GoFundMe. As of June 1st of 2024, when I did the research for today, there were 2,390,290 funerals listed on GoFundMe. That's what people are using for life insurance today. I think it's sickening. All the stuff we just talked about in our product, you want to know why they do that? Because they think life insurance is expensive. It's not. It's very expensive to not have in so many ways. The average GoFundMe account raised just on average $2,240. Are you kidding me? Are we going to let people do that kind of stuff? We got to educate them, right? So here's the process. You got to remember why our product's best. We already went through that. If you need a reminder of that, you need to go back through the hub again, which I have a link for you. You just got to do a little homework, guys. Work on this. Work on your craft. Be best at it. Listen, how to present properly, how to ask questions, how to take the app, how to close them on moving forward. We're going to cover that right now. It's super simple. Remember, the process is this. Identify. We're going to identify through questions in our presentation. I already showed you that. We're going to present. We're going to ask closing questions. We're going to do a little diagram if I have to. And then I'm going to answer any objections. But mainly what I'm going to do is the way I present is going to cause me to not have objections. How many people would like that? I don't like objections. Do you? I'd way rather cover them up front. And that's why we have a process. So let's look at what that process looks like. Remember, I just said there's only 5 scenarios. Only 5. There is nothing else. I've been doing this for a long time. Okay? Here they are. So let's just take a look at the process. 2, present. I'm going to give them a mini presentation based on which one they chose. Well, they didn't choose it. I did based on the answers to the questions. My first question is, do you know anything about life insurance? By the way, if you remember, we asked that on our first interview. You know what a lot of people say? I've been on 80 plus of those types of appointments just in the last several months. Now, you want to know what they usually answer? I either have it or no, I really don't understand it. That's about it. Or I got some through work. I get that one once in a while. That's it. So when I ask them that question, which you all should go through this process yourself personally with one of our certified trainers so that you can see how simple it is and non-salesy, right? Just going to address issues. And we're going to ask closing questions. Okay. And then we're going to do the diagram. That's the close. And then we're going to handle any objections that come up. Guys, can I define objections for you? They're simply requests for more information. That's all they are. They're questions. I think sometimes when we hear something called the word objection, we think that's bad. It's not. So you see, it's really important to understand that when people don't buy, it's because you have a shortcoming in your process. And by the way, some of you don't even try because you don't have a process. Or you try to wing it, or you try to do words that are yours. I'm going to remind us all that our words are crafted in a special way, in a logical order, and you might not understand it all, and you might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but I promise you they work. Okay? You just got to, you want to know I had you all read today? You want to know why? I don't know about you guys, but I believe most of you read those exact statements that you read today for the very first time. Yes or yes? It didn't sound canned to me. You actually sounded pretty darn good. Excuse me. I think you'd all agree that your teammates sounded like they knew what they were talking about. It's not that hard, guys. Follow our scripts. We've made it so easy. It's crazy. Guys, honestly, to go help one family a week to make $2,000 a month is almost pathetic. Now, do you have to do some upfront work? Yeah. But guess what? Nobody can ever take that work away from you. And you don't have to relearn it because it's in a script. Fair? Look, here, I'm just going to read one of these, okay? I'm going to say they got no life insurance and they're single. And then I'm going to skip through. Instead of reading every other one, I just want you to get the idea. What you're seeing on here is in our scripts that you can use. By not opening up the script, you're just talking to your client. Do you know what the benefit of Zoom is? Do you know what the benefit of Zoom is? No, you don't. Watch this. Right now, if I'm talking to you, can you tell that I'm reading a script?
No.
No.
Come on, everyone.
No.
Nope.
Can you tell I'm reading a script?
No.
Not enough of you. Can you tell I'm reading a script?
No.
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 So Mary, do you mind if I gave you a couple of minute education on why single people should have life insurance? Would you mind?
No.
No.
See, I believe single people over 18 should have life insurance for 3 reasons. Oh, I'm sounding pushy, aren't I?
No.
Well, parents probably wouldn't want to spend $20,000 or more in funeral expenses paying off your car or whatever other things that you've borrowed money for, right? Right?
Right.
And so those kinds of things are critically important to understand why single people should have life insurance. Now, one of the reasons that people tell me that they don't have it is because it costs too much. Fair?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Mary, two things affect pricing. And by the way, I'm now going to share my screen just so you can see what I'm doing. I want to flip back to my screen just so you can see I'm reading word for word, not sounding like a salesman. There it is. Okay. 2 things affect the pricing of life insurance. What do you think they are? Now, by the way, that's a question. Shut up. Wait for the answer. What do you think most people are going to say? I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Some are going to answer it. And if they answer incorrectly, I go, good guess. I'd say, well, it's really only 2 things. That's age and health. They're the only thing that affect the pricing of life insurance. So, Mary, are you ever going to be younger than you are right now?
No.
No.
So we know this will get more expensive, right, Mary?
Right.
Right.
Do we get healthier and healthier as we age?
No.
No.
So if we know this product is guaranteed to cost more as we age, and we're less healthy at some point, we must get it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Would it make sense to pay a whole lot later or lock it in at the cheapest possible price right now?
Lock it in now.
Lock it in.
Yeah. The second reason why young single people don't have life insurance, and by the way, I'm one of them that didn't have it when I first came here. So Mary, most people think that the worst thing that could happen is that they were to die prematurely. But for someone like yourself that's single, way, way worse. By the way, am I sounding like I'm reading? No. That's the benefit of having the script right beside you. Now, I have it in the form of a PowerPoint to teach you today, but this is word for word in the script. That's how you do it properly, right? But for someone like yourself that's single, way, way worse would be to not die, but to become very ill. How many of you remember the story of Magic Johnson already? You'll never forget it, right? We taught you that just so you'd have some background on this. You see, now that your medical bills go up, some of us might not even be covered, and certain treatments might not even be available to you if you don't have money up front. Have we all seen, by the way, just side note, that there are options that we could have a drug, but our insurance didn't cover it?
Yes.
Yep.
You see, your income goes down now because you're not working. Someone's got to drive you to medical appointments and they can't work. Now making two people's income affected by it. So here's the question. If you could have an account with $400,000 in it, just in case that happened, would that help you in that scenario?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Of course it would, right? So do you have an account like that?
Nope.
Well, that's why you should own this. And the third example would be your loved ones. See, Mary, most people think that life insurance might just be there for their family if I die prematurely. And you might say, I don't have a wife, I don't have kids, but Mary, is there anyone in your life that you care deep enough about that you probably feel like they're not just doing great financially? Look at this. God forbid something happens to you, okay, and you pass, and 2 weeks later, a check shows up at their doorstep and pays off their house, pays off every bit of debt, and it allows them to retire. And they got that check in the mail, and it came from you, and it had your name on it. Mary, how do you think they'd feel about you? It'd be life-changing for them, right? You see, if you had millions of dollars right now, you'd probably be helping them, wouldn't you? Because that's what you think about them. That's why you should go ahead with us. So now I'm going to close. Watch. So now here's all the steps, right? All the different terms, okay? All the different things. So, oops, I'm going to go one more. Here's my closing questions. Okay, and it's in every scenario. And by the way, it's not this jumpy. I have this on a PowerPoint so I could teach you today. So Mary, if money weren't an issue and you had plenty of it, how much coverage would you want your family to have? And I shut up. And generally they're in the ballpark. And if not, I'll educate them. 10 times income, right? And then question number 2 is, you see, money's always an issue when it comes to decisions like this. How much money on a monthly basis do you feel that you'd be comfortable with investing in making sure you and your family were properly covered? Now, before you respond to that question, most of our clients say generally between 50 and $100. Some say $100 or more. And there's a few that say as little as 30 or 40. Where do you feel like you'd comfortably be on a monthly basis? Let them answer. And then I might say, so if we keep it under 100 or under 40, whatever their answer was, right? You'd be comfortable with that. They go, yeah, great. We're done. We move to the quote and we wrap it up. Is that complicated, difficult, hard? If it's all scripted for you, you just need to know what scenario, right?
At all.
And we wrap it up and we literally go to the verbiage that once we're wrapping it up and we go to the close or to the application, we're done. It's that simple. It's not a lengthy process. What makes this look like a lot, I'm clicking through the slides, is all the scenarios. That's why deciding which scenario they're in first is critically important, because I only have a little bit of verbiage, a few sentences and a few questions if I know what the scenario is. So what's the key to this? Knowing the scenario they're in. Follow the script. Follow the process, right?
Right.
So I want to move on with Jim Rohn and talking about money being an issue. And I tell people it's not money, it's your philosophy. I'm going to suggest that the reason why we have a cycle of brokenness in people's lives today, and you stay broke, is because you keep saying, I'm broke, I can't afford life insurance, or I'm broke, I can't afford to put $25 a month in my Roth IRA. Fair? When's that ever going to change?
Change my philosophy.
Watch.
As long as you keep saying the same thing, it's never going to change.
That's right. That's exactly right. So watch this. Very simple, very quick.
Poor people usually spend their money and invest what's left. That's the philosophy of the poor. Now, here's the philosophy of the rich. Rich people invest their money and spend what's left. And here's the startling answer. It really doesn't matter what the amount is. What's most important is not the amount. What's really important is the philosophy. So I would ask you to adopt this philosophy of spending after you have invested. Invest first, then spend.
Good philosophy?
Yes.
You see, if we change our philosophy, we change our financial condition. If we change our philosophy, we change our health. It's only a problem in your mind, in your head. I try to help some people, even on this team, and they can't get out of their own way. They're full of excuses. They're full of problems. And guys, you got to start changing and growing, and that's what today is about. So, what did you learn today? You learned about mindset, building confidence. You learned the client experience in closing. You learned Facebook and prospecting. Did you learn about our competitors' products? Our term life product set? The Team Tenacious client experience? Will that lead to breakthroughs in your income? How about work-life synergy? If you're better at the process, how does your life get better, right? Well, for a minute, the problem with some of your philosophies is you want it all right now. You're not going to get it all. Guys, you got to take a minute and master this, build a team, duplicate yourself, then your life's going to change. But if you don't take the steps that are necessary to do that, your life will never change. So we have a deal for you today, right? I've already talked about it. Here it is one more time. This is the promo for the book. This is something you need to study. This is something you need if you don't own it. And we put it in the Life Licensed Telegram today because you get first dibs, and when they're out, they're out. Literally, I mean, when they're out, they're out. So act on it quickly if you want to. It's costing me a lot of money, by the way, but that's okay. Next, I have another gift for you, okay? This entire presentation from today, the entire presentation, everything you just saw, you're going to get. Now, you got to honor this. This is not to be shared. This is for your information only. It is my gift. You go, why didn't you tell me that first? Oh, there's a method behind the madness of teaching and paying attention, right? So where are you going to get it? You're going to get this via a secured, pay attention. If you're not paying attention right now, this gift is meaningless. It's on your special Telegram page that was from the Life License Summit. And there's a password. It's not on the screen. There is a password. Julie, tell them the password to open the document.
In all caps, Summit Fire, one word, SUMMITFIRE, all caps.
Summit, as spelled behind me. Fire. Summit, fire, all one word, all caps. Summit, fire, all one word. You don't have that, you won't be able to open it. So you might want to write that down. It's a secured doc so that when you download it, you won't be able to open it unless you have that password. That helps me protect the doc. Okay. That's our gift. I gave you a gift of a book for $5. There you go. That's not really a gift. You're going to charge me for it. But it's a pretty big gift.
So much.
You're welcome. I'm giving you the entire presentation today. I also recorded this. I will put the recording on this special group. It will disappear. So you need to get on it, review it, if you really want your life to change. There are some upcoming big events that I want you to know about that nobody knows about. One, we are having a super summit. We chose Sunday, December 8th. I rarely like Sundays, but I don't like it when people have jobs that they cannot attend on Saturdays sometimes. So we're doing a super summit on Sunday, December 8th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time. That would be 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You must be registered to attend. And the registration, you can find a QR code right there. We will also post this on that same Life License channel, but it's also going to go out on the main Telegram page for everyone, because you will notice there is no cost. Everyone is included. That means if they're the newest person here or the oldest and stodgiest veteran, they can come. Okay? But they must register by clicking the link. Okay? So we have the QR code, which you can see right there. You can already register for it. Or you can click on the link, which will be shared on our Telegram pages. 2 of them, this Life Licensed Only group, you have the first dibs at it. And then those that are out on the main page. Let me tell you something, guys. These training events are second to none. We found that we can collapse time frames by bringing you into a very short, direct meeting. Last I checked, it's not even 10:45, and I'm wrapping up. I promised you 11. I will keep that promise. Also, I need you here. Okay, we're kicking off the year. It's a Florida event. We're not going to go there live. Although, if you're in Florida, I don't think it's a bad idea. Now, if you want to register for the virtual event, it's $25 for both days. I don't run that meeting. It's run by multi-millionaires that make $1 million plus a year. I'm not there yet. Okay. Oh, we'll get there very shortly by helping you. Okay. But these guys are rock stars. Okay. You don't want to miss it. I wanted to give you the dates well in advance so you have them. They're January 24th and 25th. Friday, the event runs for 2 hours, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. Pay attention to that. And Saturday, 9 to 4 Eastern time. That means if you're Central time, it's 1 hour earlier. In other words, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. So this is a rewind from the one that was canceled for the hurricane, okay, in October. Now, if you had registered for that event, you don't have to re-register. You're already registered. We will be sharing with you how to log in and so on, and you'll be getting, you've probably already been communicated to that it was rescheduled to this date if you were registered for the original event. And your tickets are still good for that. Okay? If you had never registered, get registered. Those are the only two events that we're going to talk about. One at the beginning of December and one at the end of January. Those are two very big events. They are career helping events that will take you in, what used to take us long periods of time to learn and shorten it down to just hours, really. And so I just wouldn't miss either of these events. They will change your life. Now, you might ask about December 8th. It's going to be a different event than what we just covered with you. You're licensed only. So we're going to, I promise you, it's going to be so valuable. It's going to be crazy. So I hope we delivered today. There's also one more event that I want you to just be prepared for, that in spring of 2025, we will be doing a live Florida event when those dates come out. So I just want you to know, we're going to do a live thing, just like what we promoted in October. We're going to get a place. We're going to do some fun things together, hang out together. So just be thinking, man, I want you making money. Okay. I want you at these events. I want you to come. I want to come hang out with you. All right. So what do you do from here? What are your next steps? What do we do? What should you do with this? Well, first, today should equal confidence. It should equal confidence. You now know everything that there is to know about the process. We've told you step by step. We've provided you resources. If you need help with any of that process, first go to is your trainer. Second, if you've gone to your trainer and you didn't get the help you needed, or they need assistance, that's okay. Ask Julie or I, and we're here to help you. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I do expect a return. What's my return? Your success. I can't stand it if you come here and you just sit here and take notes, but you're not winning and you're not making money. You're hurting your career, not helping it. I want you making money. I want you helping others. I want you feeling like you're a citizen in the community of life that makes an impact on others. So literally take this step by step. Go back to Telegram 1, right? And start there and start working through that process. 2, get with your certified trainer and ask them, what's my next step? And trainers, don't set an appointment with them and get off with them, either a Zoom or a call, without setting the next one. And if people don't follow through, that's a message back to us that they're not somebody that we should follow through with. I can't stand it when people don't respond to my communications. How about you? How about you? Okay? Let's respect each other. Let's do what we say we're going to do. I wanted to not just deliver today. I wanted us to over deliver. I'm sure your minds are full, but not overwhelmed. Why? You have resources. You have all of that at your fingertips now. But I do expect you to win. I do expect you to succeed here. That's why you're here. I do expect that. How do you succeed here? Serving others. Follow the process. Engage. And get help when you need it. I'm dead serious about this. I don't know why sometimes people feel like, well, Jim, you're so busy. Yeah, I'm busy, like crazy. But guess what? You are too. And here's my promise. Promise, within 24 hours, we will get you help at the very longest. Hopefully instantly. So one of the things that I suggest to those of you that are serious about your careers, set up a communication plan between you and your trainer and make sure you're following it. Trainers, make sure you're giving assignments each and every time. And then, this is where some people fall short. Follow through on it. Talking to the trainers. Don't just tell somebody to do something and then not follow up. Humans, we're weird. We are weird. I don't know why it is, but like, we just need to be reminded often. And once people prove that, they're doing it, that's awesome. I want them independent as soon as possible. That's the name of one of our channels, Independent. All right. So it's 10:52. We promised you 11. What's the number one thing? I just want to take just a few seconds here. What's glaring at you from today that's positive, that's encouraging to you about what you learned? Real quick, just
Facebook information.
Facebook information. Good. Yeah. And I see a lot of heads shaking. That was big. Yes?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Unmute you guys. What else? Being
Building
confident, making
confidence.
an impact on the world. Catalina. Got that. What? Who talked? Sorry.
I said building confidence.
Building confidence.
Ourselves.
Woo.
Change of mindset.
Change of mindset. What else?
Inputs create outcome.
Inputs create outcome. Good stuff, you guys. Good.
Follow
How
through.
the scripts are.
Yeah. Scripts. What
Review
else?
the closing questions.
Closing questions. How to close.
Where to find information.
Where to find information. Good stuff. Good. That's it? Nothing else?
Well, just the fact that you're so supportive of us all. That is just so cool.
Thank you. It means a lot, Laura. Thank you. Thank you.
I liked being able to leverage the last 3 hours of 40 years of wisdom in the business. Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you. That's good.
Mine is communicate with my trainer and follow through on the study. Follow through, and if I have questions, just text my trainer, let him know where I'm stuck at. So
Okay.
it was great today. It really helped.
Good, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jeffrey, to piggyback off what you said, I think also the fact that we had 41 people on the Zoom and you didn't have to have 20 different meetings to teach everyone to do this, right?
Great. Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Good job, you guys, for getting on.
Course for me.
Good, Dorothy. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time. I mean, being so busy and it's wonderful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're welcome. Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you.